everybody. Welcome to episode 465 of 4Player Podcast. My name is Nick Henderson. Joining me this evening is, of course, Brad Simons.
Hey, Nick.
Nolan Hedstrom.
How's it going, everybody?
And Christopher Guthridge.
Hello.
It is... When was the last time I actually said what day or what the date was?
It's been a while.
Did I stop doing that at some point?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well...
You just stopped caring.
We
all noticed, but we didn't want to say anything.
It's July 21st.
Yep, that's true.
2016.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, see, I got all my facts straight.
Checks out.
Hey, guys. Who's been playing Pokemon Go? Is anybody...
I have been.
Okay. I feel like Pokemon Go has already started to fall off a little bit.
Anything that high is gonna fall off.
The reason it started to fall off is just people are pissed because they can't play it. Because it's constantly crashing, and like I wasn't able to get on all day, and it's because they released in some other countries, like in Japan. They released in Japan today.
Yeah.
But the problem was they probably should have fixed their fucking server issues before they started releasing it in other countries and just having more people on their shitty servers.
Also, someone has officially died.
See,
Wait, what?
Yeah.
When did that happen? I didn't see this.
Today.
Today? What did they do?
They got shot and murdered.
Yeah.
They got shot?
Yeah, I think in Guatemala. Is it Guatemala?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Something.
Out in the middle of the night,
Pokemon
some friend called up his buddy, and they're like, "Hey, man, there's a Pokemon." They went out in the middle of the night, and they got gunned down.
Like because
One
they
of
were
them
on
died.
someone's
I think the other
property,
one
or just straight up murdered?
Just murdered out in the streets.
damn. That's rough. There was a dude in Florida who shot at some kids, but I don't think he actually hit anybody.
Of course, Florida. Of course.
Well, yeah, because they were on his property.
It's pretty
But,
tragic.
it's weird. Everyone talks about how shitty the servers are, and I'm probably not. I probably haven't played quite as much as you guys have, because I know you and Bernard.
Well, you know what made me mad about the shitty servers?
But
I know you haven't. You haven't been running into issues.
I haven't run into a single server.
So there's an item in the game that when you use it, it doubles the experience for everything that happens to you in the next half hour. And so what I had done was I had saved up a bunch of Pokemon, and I was going to evolve them all. I got a shit ton of Pidgeys, and I was going to evolve them and get double experience. Rack up that experience. I used the item. I evolved 3 Pokemon. Servers went down for 25 minutes.
Oh, that's the worst.
And
Maybe it's designed to do that.
Maybe.
Because now you got to go buy another one using your fucking Pikachu coins or whatever they are.
So I don't know. There's, like I said, it seems to, and that's the thing that sucked is me and Bernadette, like whenever, like last weekend or whenever it was that we went out, like we were like, we're gonna make a day trip. We're gonna go around Austin and catch some Pokemon. Fucking server issues half the day.
I saw a thing today where like the different continents have a specific like exclusive Pokemon. So you can't catch a Mr. Mime in North America.
I'm going to Greece. I'm going to Greece.
Yeah,
in
you
September.
can only catch them in Europe. You can only catch Tauros in North America.
Wait, I thought I saw something today that said someone in America had completed Pokemon Go.
Yeah,
like,
you can hatch. You can hatch anything. From eggs.
Oh, so
you can't like catch them in the wild.
So you can hatch a Mr. Mime?
Yeah. If you have an egg, you can hatch one.
But imagine that thing coming out of an egg.
Did they get an Atkins?
Clearly.
That's horrifying.
Did they get a Scyther?
Fuck you, Brad.
Or a Zapdos?
They got all of them. All right, real quick, before we get too far into it, I do want to read some comments from last week's podcast.
Wait, when are we going to talk about non-game stuff? Before or after this?
After this.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to start. We've done it a few weeks now, and we're getting a lot of feedback, which is great. I love it. I'm going to start kind of, I'm not going to read everything. I'm going to just handpick a few things.
Wait, did you hear that?
What?
I'm getting some feedback from the community.
Oh, so good.
God
anyway,
damn it.
If you've missed the past couple episodes, this is a new thing we've been doing. We've been starting off the show every week by reading comments left on the post for last week's podcast. So if there's anything we talk about on the show that you would like to chime in on, leave a comment on the post, and we might read it on the show on the next episode at the top of the episode. So the first comment this week comes from Gonzo Lude, who says, "All this talk about Pokemon Go makes me wish that there was a Persona Go where you can capture cool-looking demons, and of course, that fabulous pony."
That's a cool idea,
dude.
So I mean, I think it's a good idea, but I think similar other people are trying to now do this stuff. I know it. There's going to be other versions of this.
Everything
goes. It's not going to take off like this.
There's a comic writer I follow on Twitter named Chip Zdarsky, and he had a suggestion for a Pokemon Go type app where instead of catching Pokemon, you use your camera to go around trying to take pictures of Spider-Man for J. Jonah Jameson.
That's cool. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But I think the nature of just trying to catch them all kind of lends
Yeah.
itself to this. So, someone from not last week's episode, but the week before that, I think had left a comment saying the Ghostbusters would be a good fit, which kind of goes hand in hand with like the
Conjuring
Fatal
Ghosts,
Frame
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters would probably be a little more lighthearted. Next, Punch Drunk. You all know Punch Drunk. He says, I agree with Nolan about Blood and Wine. If not the greatest DLC I've ever played.
Yep.
If possible, I suggest you read the books first. It makes certain dialogue sections that much more enjoyable.
Definitely.
With the Game of the Year edition coming for The Witcher, I can't wait to rebuy and do everything again on PC.
Someone's got some time on their hands.
Man, I still haven't started
Hearts of Stone.
Yeah. I don't know why I can't remember the name of that, but
It's
yeah,
all
I always
good.
have trouble. It's on my list. I don't know. Who puts an X after a G in their name?
This guy.
Joves.
GX.
GX.
Jix.
Joves. I'm going to call you Joves.
Just
He says, hey guys, this isn't related to the subjects in the podcast, but I just wanted to say that I've been a chatter ever since the Left 4 Dead days.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
I've really gained a huge interest in the podcast these past few months, and I really enjoy them. Thank you for the amazing entertainment. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks for
Thank you for
listening.
being such a great listener.
It's always wonderful to
I
hear
wonder
that.
what we've changed in the last few
Um,
months.
I don't know.
You've been around less.
Yeah, that's what it is. That must be it.
That's good. Boom. So we had talked about someone ask a question last week about getting tattoos tattooing the person next to us
Oh, yeah.
on the couch.
Tattoo.
Of course, a lot of these comments revolve around what would be tattooed on my body. Slardacity seems to think I need a dinosaur somewhere in that Yakuza tattoo. Maybe Matt Damon riding the dinosaur. Of course.
You know what you could do? Is you could shave everything and then get one of those Dilophosaurus, what are the spitter guys?
Yeah.
It's a lot
So it's
of
like,
yeah.
like that. But
Get a little frill around it.
yeah.
Like the little. You mean that thing
Yeah.
they totally made up for the movie?
Yeah,
It's
that.
not real.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen that before. Probably on a lizard, though. I
Yeah,
think.
you know why you started after Jurassic Park did it. Every single thing related to that dinosaur and had that thing.
No,
on
there's
it.
like a lizard who has those things.
Oh yeah, just a Dilophosaurus.
I think he runs on his 2 legs, too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Anyways, Minovsky Physics says, "Hey guys, good podcast as usual. Why was it not great? Just
bitch.
good.
Yeah,
What's up with
bitch.
that?
Why you a bitch?
I was wondering if you had ever considered the idea of making an entire spoiler cast episode where you talk in detail about several of the more story-heavy games of the year.
Oh my God.
We have considered this many times.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's talking about like doing a spoiler cast where we literally.
I think he's talking a spoiler cast, like a cast where we just spoil everything. But the problem is that's kind of difficult because some people might have only listened to some of those.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
true.
you
That's
risk.
true.
Also, why do people want spoiler casts? Like, what do they get out of
Because
this?
I mean, it's more of a I experienced this game and I love this element of it, but I haven't heard everyone else's opinions on that because it's spoilery, so they never bring it up because they don't want people to get it spoiled for them.
I mean, spoiler cast is kind of misleading because
like-
it's not a spoiler because everyone you encourage people to listen to a spoiler cast if they've already seen it, which would make
Exactly.
it not a spoiler anymore.
Yeah.
It just means being able to delve deeper into conversations you wouldn't have in fear of spoiling it for other people. Off the top of my head, Uncharted 4, Inside, and Blood and Wine could benefit from such a discussion.
Definitely.
Keep up the good work. P.S. Brad, if I had the choice, I would tattoo "Chris Davis was right" in large block letters across your upper chest.
Can you get your chest removed?
Can you get it? Your whole chest?
Yeah,
just get your chest removed.
Yeah.
Why not just get the tattoo on your chest removed?
I mean, it's
We
easier.
got 2 more comments I wanted to read.
What are those things that they scrape off thin layers of butter with?
Oh God! Oh,
Butter knives?
No, there's a tool that you use to like.
it's like a.
yeah,
Like a plane? but
yeah,
for
like a
butter?
plane.
There would be lots of blood
But for
involved
skin.
with running that across your chest. So next comment comes from Fourth Horseman. It says, Pokemon Go is so weird. The game aspects are not very good. The app seems to be down just as much or more than when it's working. People seem to be running into the same Pokemon over and over again. Goddamn Pidgey and Rattata. Pokestops are far and few between outside the populated areas, making the need to spend money more likely to obtain Pokeballs. And it's hard to be interested in gym battles when the people on it are so much higher than most people would likely have. But man, I can't pull myself away. It's so inferior to the handheld games, but I haven't been this into Pokemon since I was 12 and hit stateside in 1998. Nostalgia is probably a huge part of it, as people who hadn't watched or played Pokemon since Gen 1, but are happy to be reciting the Team Rocket motto on Facebook now. It's absolutely crazy that it hasn't sizzled yet and still seems pretty high, even with all the problems with it. Just hoping Nintendo doesn't take the wrong things away from the success. Well, of course they are. They're gonna.
Well, they're going to.
Dude, they're gonna just start the whole cycle over again. They're gonna release but it's gonna be updating the Pokemon app. To the point
First off,
how many Pokemon exist now?
First off,
Just
you
total.
know Nintendo didn't do anything for this besides give the license. They let Niantic have the license.
Niantic probably went to them with a pitch. And
Yeah.
they were like, that seems like it might be
Run
big,
with it.
but run with it.
And now Nintendo's stock is up a shit ton by them not doing anything.
Yeah, they didn't have to lift a finger.
Yeah.
Nintendo doesn't even own Pokemon.
Who? Game Freak.
They own 33% of the company.
Of Game Freak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To answer your question, Nick, I think they're in the 700 or 800s.
They're called the
something
Pokemon
like that.
Company now, I
But
think.
you know they're just gonna keep updating that app until there's 800 Pokemon to catch.
We'll see.
Because that's gonna keep. Because
maybe.
like we already have like one person at least who's caught all 150, and people.
One person out of millions.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he doesn't have missing now.
Oh.
Shut up. All right. Next question. Last question for the day, or not comment, whatever. From Red Panic, he says, "Evening," or he says, "Hello, evenings." I don't know what that means. One or the other, man. Evening.
Hello, evenings.
Hello, evenings. The first question during community about not liking something and having valid reasons to something that was so or about not liking something and having valid reasons for not liking something that was so popular and new at the time. Don't you think in some way that was the case for you with Undertale? I know none of you hated it or something or anything like that, but in the end, didn't understand why there was so much hype for that game. I don't either. Despite that, I really liked it.
I mean, I put it on my top 10 list last year.
That's true.
It was my number 11.
Yeah. It was. I think it was my number 9 or 10.
I mean,
it was one of those two.
I personally would probably fall into that camp where I saw everyone talking about it and I didn't get it. But then again, I still don't get it because I really don't. I still to this day have not really seen much of that game outside of watching Krispy's top 10.
Yeah.
So
It's a really okay. So enjoyed in a vacuum, it's a wonderful, fantastic game. Really, really cool ideas. Makes you think. But it's just like a lot of things that I like, I really dislike other people who like it. Does that make sense?
No, yeah.
Does that make sense?
When you
Like,
see
there's a fan
when you see a
community for
big
it.
group of people who just love it so
Yeah.
much, you're like, well, now I hate it.
Yeah, you're just like, wow, like it's a good game. Can't we all just like accept that it's a good game and just like move on? Like, why do we have to be weird about it?
It wasn't
Like,
that just that people liked it. It's that other people started to milk it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
just like with Pokemon Go, where all these companies are like, you know, oh, we're fucking come in if you like want to catch some Pokemon and buy some.
Oh no,
more
like all these
products."
businesses are like they're using their own money to buy lures to put on their Pokestops to attract business to their place, and it's working.
And it's gross. Every YouTuber in the world did something with Undertale because it was so fucking popular.
Yeah.
And I just get like, it's just skeevy and gross. Like fucking like Smooth McGroove, like literally did every song from that game. Because if you put out a video on YouTube that was about Undertale, you were getting millions of hits because it was super popular. And you know, all these people are like, oh, it just really touched my dick. You know, I just love it so much. No, you fucker. You're just doing it for the money. It's just gross, man. It became gross.
so gross.
Gross.
So yeah, that's all we have for feedback this week. Thank you so much. I mean, there's other comments here. We appreciate all the comments. I'm just gonna kind of handpick a few at the beginning of the show because we can't spend the entire show doing this. But I do enjoy reading these comments.
Speaking of
every
things
week.
that are taking off and everyone's loving,
Where are you going with this?
has anyone seen that Stranger Things show?
I have
yet?
not.
Oh, I saw the pilot.
I haven't started watching it yet.
I don't know anything about it. I just keep hearing Stranger Things.
So I watched the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
God damn, it's really fucking good.
As I know.
That's the thing that sucks, because I hate it, because everyone's like, oh, the show's so good. And I'm like, fine, I'll watch it. And I watched the first episode, and I was like, oh, shit. Fuck, I'm going to watch the second one. I watched the second one, I'm like, shit, it's still good. Like, it's still good.
I'm
Like,
When
really
did Winona Ryder get so old?
yeah,
Well,
she's
probably
like,
in the year since you last.
She's like 44 or something like that.
Yeah.
She's definitely a couple years older than Brad.
Matt
guess I'm
Damon's
old.
45.
Yeah. I think you just remember her from, like, Casper.
She wasn't in Casper. That was Christina Ricci.
Sorry, not Casper. I meant Beetlejuice.
For years, people have been getting her mixed up with Christina Ricci.
I always get
Will
them
it ever
mixed up.
end?
No, it won't.
They should just put both of them in a movie together. Just really.
They
Oh
have
God!
been in a movie
So
together.
this is breaking news happening right now on this podcast as we speak because Comic-Con's happening right now.
Yeah, it is.
Daredevil season 3 has been confirmed.
Nice.
Oh, that's great news. Can we go back to
Fuck you, Red. Fuck you.
That's
exciting.
That's not shocking.
Not shocking,
No.
but exciting.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? I never watched a single second of Daredevil after I left your house that one day.
Of course you didn't. Of course you didn't. I watched almost every other episode of the season after you
There
left
you
that
go.
same night.
I don't suppose they've announced who the new villain's gonna be.
I don't know.
Apparently
I don't
Hideo Kojima.
know.
Any guesses? It's Hideo Kojima. That's Star Trek. He's wearing a Star Wars shirt to the Star Trek Beyond world
There's
premiere.
a picture
Nice.
of Hideo Kojima
That
at the Star
fucking
Trek Beyond
madman.
premiere wearing a Star Wars
You know
t-shirt.
what? That's probably more appropriate than an
Yeah.
actual Star Trek shirt
Yeah,
with these new movies.
Probably.
Anyways, let's move on. Of course, if you have any thoughts on anything we talk about over the course of the next hour and a half or so on this episode, feel free to leave a comment in the post for this episode when it goes up on 4playernetwork.com, and we'll read them off at the beginning of next week's episode. Anyways, where shall we begin? We got a lot of games to talk about. We didn't really
Genesis?
have a lot.
No. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth.
Do you want to get I Am Setsuna out of the way?
Why do you mean out of the way?
Because
Because it's
I-
a hot new game.
Has anyone here played it besides me?
You've played it, so
I know,
talk about
But
it.
has anybody else here besides me played it?
No.
Because there really
It's 40
is.
fucking dollars.
I don't know anything about this.
I
Well,
talked.
Chris- well, actually,
I talked to Square Enix at E3,
Yeah.
and they're like, "We'll send you a code." And they sent me an email yesterday, and they're like, "Hey, we don't have a code for you."
They sent you an email to tell you
At
they
least they
don't
had
have
the
a code.
courtesy to send you that email.
they told me they don't.
Like, hey,
Hey,
by
someone's
the way,
really loud, by the way, on
go
their.
fuck yourself.
Ah!
Was that
Yeah,
might have been me?
Brad needs to turn down.
Why
a
you
little
just
bit.
yelled?
Yeah, you did yell into the mic hole.
I know, but it's peaking quite a bit over here. Anyways, let's
Peaking quite a bit.
talk about I Am Setsuna
Okay.
just a little bit. I have.
Is it I Am Setsuna or I Am Setsuna?
I Am
Setsuna.
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 I mean, this is one of those situations where they don't have voice acting. All you can really go on is
yeah.
what the
Why don't they have
developers
voice
say
acting?
when they say it out loud.
Bravely Default had a shit ton.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the many things about this game. I think that not many things. It's one of the few things about this game that I feel it's kind of lacking. I mean, it is a modern take on a very traditional Japanese RPG, and there are other games that have done kind of the same thing in recent years. Bravely Default being one of them, that does certain things better, or certain things that you would come to expect from a modern game, like voice acting. There doesn't seem to be any voice acting outside of the occasional like grunt.
Yeah.
And it's still I'm pretty sure it's still the Japanese voice acting they left in there.
Yeah. I mean, why spend money dubbing?
Yeah, it's just grunting and noises and whatnot. But man, it's very traditional. Like, I haven't played a game of this style in a long time. Maybe even more so than Bravely Default, because this is meant to like be very like Chrono Trigger esque or Final Fantasy VI or whatnot. It's going straight back to like Super NES and that era of
The
RPGs.
classics.
I've only played about an hour to an hour and a half.
Okay, so
of it.
you barely got through the tutorial.
I got
That's a pretty lengthy
it's kind of a short
tutorial.
tutorial because I kind of assume you
I
you
guess
understand a lot of it. I mean, it.
was it you running through the forest and then fighting the penguin things?
Yes.
And then okay.
Yeah, and then you fight. You go into a village, talk to some people, monster attacks.
Yeah, wait, do you have to do
boss.
that long walking down the hallway when like the credits are rolling
Yeah,
or whatever?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's where I stopped playing the demo because what
That's
they
what
had
showed at E3?
Well, no, at E3 they had the whole fucking game.
Oh,
But that's where I stopped because there was a line of people behind me and I didn't know how long those credits were going to be and you couldn't skip them.
but see, like this is like for one thing, I didn't realize. So I haven't been following this game too closely. I just knew it was supposed to be a very traditional JRPG.
Yeah.
Which I was like, what's appealing to me about it is, I personally haven't played a game like this in a very, very long time, and I was like, maybe it'd be nice to just kind of go back in time a little bit and play a game like this because I really haven't. So when I walked out of the first town and a world map loaded, like straight up, like for me it was harkened back to like Final Fantasy 7 or 9, and it just like
Legend
was
of
like
Dragoon.
Legend of Dragoon. Well, no, Legend of Dragoon was like has the little like the cities, and then you run down the dotted line to get to the next place. This was
Man.
more of like a free open world where everything is like super.
Like Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, sure. Which is a game that
So I do.
I honestly haven't
I
played.
have a couple questions, Nick, because I only played the I know
Yes.
you haven't played a whole lot.
Yes.
But so in combat, you don't ever move, right?
No, it is straight
Does
up.
the enemy placement have to do with anything? Because the enemies are constantly like running around.
So you can
Same as Chrono Trigger.
Well,
okay.
The enemies
Doesn't
will
matter.
move around. You won't. At least I haven't yet.
I just don't understand the point of them moving.
Well, the thing is, if you go
I didn't
if
get
there
it
are
back in the day.
if there are two enemies
Right
that are
next to
like
each
right
other?
and you go to do like a regular slash attack, if they're close enough together,
potentially
you'll
hit both,
of them.
Yeah, but you have no real control over that. This combat
RNG.
system is so Chrono Trigger, and just like in 1995 or whatever when Chrono Trigger came out, I didn't understand why they were moving around,
But,
and I had
sure.
no control over where I was.
You don't have sure, and that is a little jarring because I felt like if they're moving, I should be in control of what I'm moving. But it's more of like they move around, and therefore, and I'm assuming because I don't have a lot of attacks yet, I have a few attacks I can choose from, like magic abilities and physical attacks, whatever. I'm assuming that once you kind of upgrade your character enough and you have more attacks to choose from, them moving around will actually have an effect on what you choose to attack with.
Yeah.
Not to mention there like the one unique mechanic I think in this game, in the combat system at least, is so you have the ATB gauge, right? That fills up.
Yep.
Because it's turn based. And when it's that character's turn and it's filling up, there's like an orb, like a circle on the right side, and if you don't choose to attack, it's filling up.
Yep.
And it can when it fills up all the way, you get like a little ching, and like a little notch appears above it, and you can do that up to 3 times. So basically, and while you're waiting, and every time you do that, every time that little notch appears, your physical attack goes up, so you'll do more
Correct,
damage.
yeah.
So you're waiting longer and risking taking more damage from the opposing, the enemy, in exchange for doing way more damage at the end.
Cost benefit, you got to decide what
And
one's
I
the
have a
best.
feeling, later on, enemies moving around may impact your decision to wait or not wait. That's my assumption.
I would hope so. Yeah, that'd be cool.
And that mechanic is kind of cool. I like that. And when you go to attack, if you like push a button like right at the right moment when they attack, you'll also increase your thing. So, but outside of that, it's like traditional as fuck.
Is there any kind of like with the enemies moving around? Is there like a flanking or like a flat-footed kind of mechanic where it's like if there's enemies on like in front or behind you, you take like
Well, here's the thing.
Penalties
like,
to
when they're explaining the combat system, it maybe I missed this, but like you can,
It's pretty. They
can
give you like a big paragraph, and they're like, "Hey, read this big thing about how this works," and they're like, I'm
and
not going
I think
to.
I may have accidentally glazed over something important, but like you can. They say you can trigger back attacks and whatnot by approaching them, which means you'll do more damage. Like
That's when they're just running around the world.
Yeah.
You can sneak up on them. Yeah.
and I can't get that to work. Every time I get any if I'll try and sneak, and as soon as I get close, they just like turn around instantly and attack me, and I'm just like, okay, I haven't figured out how that works yet. That's probably my fault.
I think it was like when you do that,
But
your
in
ATB gauge is automatically filled and all that stuff.
But
yeah.
in combat, to answer your question, Crispy, I don't think so.
It's just
So far.
it's nice to harken back to Chrono Trigger, especially with the kind of the enemies on the battlefield, and you just kind of jump in there. That's cool and all, but Chrono Trigger's a great fucking video game. But like their battle system was probably the most, I think, overrated part of it. So like they could have chosen a lot of classic battle systems, and I kind of wish they didn't choose Chrono Trigger. I'm glad they added a couple of systems to it on top of it, but I mean,
I hear this is a little bit shorter than your average RPG. It's like apparently you can beat the game in like 20 hours.
Yeah.
Which is actually not like that sounds like a nice
That's fine.
just dabbling back in a classic genre for me. Like, okay, I'll play a 20-hour RPG. Fuck it, why not? I'm not sure how great the story is going to be yet. It seems kind of like I didn't know what to think of the story. I just knew it was something about like guy meets girl and decides to protect her. It's very Final Fantasy X-esque because like this girl Setsuna lives in this village where they every year or every certain number of years they choose a sacrifice, and then they send this sacrifice on a pilgrimage, kind of like Final Fantasy X, where Yuna leaves her village.
Or Tales of Symphonia.
What I didn't realize, and I'm sorry, this isn't a spoiler because this is literally the way it sets up the game. When you boot the game up, this is what it basically tells you. Like, you play a mercenary who does missions for people in villages and goes out and hunts monsters, do anything for coin, and like this guy approaches you and tells you, "I want you to find this girl, and I want you to kill her." And I was like, I didn't think that was the setup. I was like, that's weird.
spoilers.
But like where it goes from there and how you end up with her.
Until you
like,
said it's not. So
it's
Kind
no,
of
I mean like that is the story, and like
spoiled that for me.
it really whatever.
Spoiled it.
It's kind of like
I mean, but honestly, like
Tales of Symphonia.
if somebody had told me that, I would maybe have been more interested in it from a storytelling perspective going into it. To me it seemed really generic. I didn't know what the setup was, and outside of that, I don't know much about it yet. I'm hoping it's interesting. Things that I hear about this game so far, like
I hope
problems.
It's interesting. You've been playing it, is it not?
Well, I'm only an hour and a half in. I don't know. It hasn't had time to really get its hooks in me story-wise.
I guess.
What I really like about it is the aesthetic. I
hope
like the
it's
music.
good.
The entire soundtrack is piano.
It's
just a person on a piano.
Speaking of the soundtrack, it's Final Fantasy.
I mean, it definitely, yeah, it wears that inspiration.
It's
on
Final
its sleeve.
Fantasy, pretty much.
Yeah, but I mean, it is cool. Like the entire soundtrack is done with a piano.
Yeah.
Like,
Which is weird.
Who made this game?
I kind of miss the synth
RPG Factory.
RPG Factory.
It's a
Square
Wasn't that
Enix
a PS
Collective.
It's a new Square Enix studio.
Wasn't that a
Or is
PS2
it called
title?
Square Enix Collective?
No, the
or
collective is for like
indie
Kickstarter games,
Okay,
yeah.
never mind.
Stuff
Yeah,
I mean,
couldn't
it is
remember.
definitely trying to like
Wasn't that a
appeal
PS
to those people who want to play a classic Final Fantasy or Chrono Trigger.
RPG Factory was announced or formed 2 E3s ago.
Yeah.
Wasn't that like a PS2 game where you could make your own
No,
RPG?
That's a
RPG
game.
Maker.
That's
Yeah,
RPG Maker.
Maker.
Okay.
You could even say this looks a little bit like RPG Maker 3, but I'm not trying to be rude.
I will say this. One thing I'm a little concerned about is, and this is something I've heard from other people who've actually finished the game, is like their main complaint seems to be there's not a lot of variety in like the world. Like the whole world is like covered in snow, and it gets kind of
Their main
tiring.
complaint is that the game isn't good.
Do you even go snowboarding?
I don't know. Probably not. I'm going to assume not. Is anyone else planning on playing this?
I was playing.
I
I'm
know
not
Brad
gonna
seems
play
to
it
be
for-
like he's on the fence.
Well, I'm just not going to buy it for $40.
No, sure.
It's
Not.
just,
Honestly, the only reason I took the plunge is because Krispy was kind enough to get me a gift card. He had me fish a gift card out of out of a bottle of bubbles.
the
Yeah.
truth is, it's not
was
hard to
good
find a RPG that's a throwback like this, and there's some really good ones out there.
Like I wish Bravely Default didn't get like bogged down. Like that game is like
Also, Bravely Second came out.
I know, dude. Bravely Default is excellent. Like honestly, I would say hands down, Bravely Default is the game I would recommend so far over. something
It
like
actually
this,
has,
except
like,
for
a-
the fact that Bravely Default is such a massive undertaking.
Really great personality and visual.
Like if
Cohesive.
I played Bravely Default for like 20 to 25 hours,
Yeah.
and if I had done that and then it had ended, I would have been like, holy shit, the game is amazing. But I was talking to people and they were like, oh, you're like not even halfway done. And I was like, fuck, I can't play it. I'm not gonna play a DS game for 50 hours. It just doesn't happen.
Cosmic Star Heroine. Are you familiar with this game?
I'm not.
Yeah, isn't that like a fucking Vita indie game or something?
Well, definitely not just Vita, but it is coming to Vita. Unlike this would have been great.
Why
on
is this
Vita.
game not coming to Vita?
I think it
it's
did in
like
Japan, but
some
not
girl
over
with
here.
pink hair and she's got like laser guns that float around her or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is also a throwback RPG.
I thought you said you had nothing to talk about.
No, I didn't play it. It's not even out yet.
Oh.
What I'm saying is there's so much hype behind this game because it is from Square Enix.
Yeah.
And it's $40 and people are buying it because Square Enix told them that is this great throwback thing, even though
I think
you can find plenty of classic
all
RPGs
about
or even
that
go
hype
back
train.
to play a classic RPG. I just hope that the people who are hyped for this don't ignore Cosmic Star Heroine because that
Sure.
seems like a really good throwback JRPG, maybe even better than this.
I mean, I think one thing this game does well that I think is contributing to its success is that it has a pretty consistent pretty consistent like visual style that I think is appealing. Like its marketing is pretty good. Like the way the game looks in motion is pretty damn good. The art style, the graphic style is good. I don't know. I think
Is it good?
it's good,
Okay.
and the music's good.
Yeah.
Good. It's good. But anyways, I'm gonna keep playing it, especially considering I know I can probably finish it in like 20 hours.
You know, this reminds me of
Uh,
nostalgia. That game Nostalgia
Oh yeah.
on DS that was supposed to be like, hey, this is a nostalgic throwback to classic JRPGs. We called it Nostalgia. At least they're upfront about it.
I remember Nostalgia.
It's just kind of generic.
I see what you did there, Crispy.
Seems a little generic to me. But that- I mean, I'd try it if I had it, maybe, I guess. I mean, I do like JRPGs.
Well, I'll update y'all after I've played.
Sure, play more.
of
I
it.
want you to finish this one. It's not long, Nick.
Nope. I'll be happy. I mean,
And then play Chrono
God,
Trigger and
I
Final
can't-
Fantasy VI.
I can't remember the last RPG like this that I finished. All right, Crispy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've been playing Metroid Prime. Just kidding. You've been playing.
I was playing Metroid Prime until
Well, how's that
something
going?
terrible happened, and now I can't.
Wait, you can't?
Oh, I'm just shamed. I can't look it in the eye anymore.
Are you having a Nick playing Super Metroid moment?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't even remember where I am, but I'm like, I'm at the part of the game where you have to collect all the artifacts to get into the blast crater or whatever it is.
And then fight two bosses and finish the game. It's literally the worst part to stop playing the game.
I know.
Like, literally the worst. Like, literally, finding artifacts is all about you remembering kind of the layout of the world.
I never got the layout of the world, though, is the problem. Like, it never stuck with me.
Did you look for secrets and stuff? Like, how are your energy tanks looking?
I think I have like
Missile
5.
expansions.
You have like 5 energy tanks.
I mean, hey,
some missiles.
Hey, all I do is I put out the recommendations. It worked.
It's
Nick
not
liked
like
it.
it's not that I hate the game. It's
I
just
didn't play that because you recommended
No,
it.
I'm not saying.
like I'm like fighting the controls.
If you're still fighting
the
the controls at this point, it's just not working, man.
and it's not that I don't know how to control the game. It's just it doesn't feel good.
Is it
Like,
not?
It's not fun.
I can't remember. Is
to
it not? Is it not compatible with the Pro controller?
No, it can't do
No.
the Pro controller.
See, that sucks. Wait, did you say it's
Gotta
not
use-
fun because of the controller or because it's just,
Because of the controller.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I get what the game's going for, and like I want so much just to play it like a normal fucking game.
yeah.
Like I'm so goddamn sick of Wiimotes and shit. And because so like it's a fucking first person shooter.
Yep.
So much of this game is like, oh, I hear an enemy behind me. Let me turn around and shoot it real quick. That in any other game is an impulsive like act that you don't have to think about. You just do it.
Yep.
You think I'm gonna turn around, I'm gonna pull the trigger, and it just fucking happens. In this game, I gotta like move the cursor to the side of the screen while Samus takes forever to turn 180 degrees,
There's a lot
and
of
then
settings.
line
is
up
there
my
not a quick
fucking.
turn in the game? I can't remember.
Well, no, but there's a lot of settings in there with like the bounding
I mean,
box and
I
stuff.
did mess with settings. Like the whole first cast was just me
No.
fucking.
I feel like maybe you have
locking
the
down
wrong
the
one.
settings.
It is-
and it's still
Crispy,
just
it's
like,
tragic.
There's
tragic.
one where like if you move it, like the camera moves. You don't have to go to the edge of the screen.
Man, maybe
so
Crispy
much.
should have just played the GameCube version.
You know what I mean?
The problem with the GameCube version is that it has that god awful lock-on mechanic.
The controls suck
Like,
on the
you
GameCube
can't-
version too.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
you
not
can't-
great.
You're doing everything, moving the character, turning the camera with one stick, which has always been a bad idea. And it took until like the 21st century for game developers to realize like, oh, any third-person game needs to have 2 fucking sticks to control.
It's a struggle,
Like-
but it is, at least with the GameCube version, you just flick the C stick to change your weapons, and you flick the D-pad to change your visors.
And see, that's better because
Way
like on this
better.
one, like I'm always forgetting which button I have to press because you have to press and hold a button and then move the fucking cursor over to whichever one you want and let go, which usually works.
I'm just
It's not like
so unfortunate.
stop fucking mourning my Metroid Prime playthrough.
it's sad because
I'm gonna finish the game.
Well,
Okay?
actually, the
but like you finishing it at this point, like you understand, like you have a really extensive search for these artifacts and 2 hard ass bosses. You're not gonna like come around on it. Like you're gonna end like frustrated and like thank God. I know that at this point because I know that game well. I'm not frustrated with you. I'm frustrated with Nintendo that like you have 2 ways of playing this fucking game,
And they're both
and they
garbage.
both kind of suck. Nintendo should have got their shit together, put out another, like they shot their load too soon with the Metroid Prime trilogy. Like the Wii was an SD console that was just a little bit more powerful than the GameCube. They were both SD. The
Nah,
trilogy
Brad,
came out just like a year or 2 after.
Wii's got those component cables.
GameCube actually had component cables. They're very rare.
Really?
Yeah. The third game was on the same fucking system. They did it too soon. If they waited to the Wii U, had them in HD, had them with like pro controller support, with like dual analog control, like it would have been perfect.
I mean-
and they never fucking did that.
Yeah,
They put
it'd
out
be
Wind
great.
Waker. Of all the games they needed to like update, Wind Waker was probably the one that didn't need to happen because it holds up incredibly well.
All right.
Fuck
All right.
Nintendo.
it's just-
fuck.
Ironically, I was literally only bringing up Metroid Prime to begin to
Fuck.
Right.
segue into Castlevania.
Right, but this is an interesting point in that I feel like I kind of fucking missed out because I didn't play this game when it was on GameCube.
A little bit.
You know, I had a
didn't
GameCube.
either.
I had a GameCube when I was a kid, and there was a bunch of games I played on it, but for some reason, Metroid Prime wasn't one of them.
A little bit, yeah.
It, like
Actually, I popped in Metroid Prime when it
Yeah.
on the GameCube, and I didn't like it. I played it for like 10 minutes, and I was like, I don't like this at
my
all.
best friend in middle school had it and played it a bunch, and like I played his copy, and like the game just stressed me the fuck out when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
Like the
It's
whole
a
like
tough
search
game.
like
Brad,
So
how does that
so I
make
never
you
tried
feel
it.
that Crispy played the GameCube when he was a little kid?
Well, yeah, I was like in middle school.
I played the GameCube in college.
Okay.
But the idea that like I don't know, the idea that like this is supposedly a great game, which I mean I get it intellectually, I get it why people love this game, but feeling like I missed the boat on that really sucks. Like
Unfortunately,
really
it
really
does.
sucks.
It's Nintendo's fault, though.
But you know what you did miss the boat on?
I didn't miss the boat on Castlevania Aria of Sorrow.
Yes!
Which
Glowing.
is what I played this week instead of Metroid Prime.
And you're almost lapping it.
I'm almost like I'm kind of fucking blowing through Aria of Sorrow.
Nice.
It's amazing. Like I was recording footage for it today, which should start playing here in a second, and I think I'm at like 53% of the castle like uncovered now. I've already beaten 5 bosses, I believe. I've gotten a bunch of souls. This is kind of this game is satisfying like this whole Metroidvania bloodlust I have much more than Metroid Prime is.
Yeah.
Because it's a Castlevania game. It's like
Oh,
a
yeah.
straight up Igavania
Igavanias
Castlevania.
are amazing.
Like
Castlevania as fuck.
I mean, because you know.
By the way, sorry, before you continue, this story has a very sad end. So
Does it
careful.
really?
A very sad end.
This story makes no fucking sense so far.
No,
Like-
no. I'm saying the story of getting into and being excited about Castlevania
Oh yeah.
has a very tearful end.
Yeah, that's a really dark road.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you
you're
mean
going
you're just
I mean,
barely
it ends
forward-
in
it's
tears.
kind of it's kind of like I played. So this year I've played Metroid Prime, beat it, loved it. Played Castlevania Symphony
You
of the
mean
Night,
Super Metroid.
beat it. What did I say?
You said Metroid
Metroid
Prime.
Prime.
Super Metroid. God fucking damn it! I'm always doing that. Played Super Metroid, beat it and loved it. Played Castlevania Symphony of the Night, beat it and loved it, and wanted to kind of keep going with that momentum
Let's not
forward.
forget Shadow Complex.
I did play Shadow Complex and I beat it and I liked it. I like Shadow Complex. Actually, Axiom Verge is another one I need to finish. I'm almost I got really far in Axiom Verge and stopped. But I'll play that. But like those games all set a very specific expectation. The momentum I had going forward from those games into Metroid Prime, like that's where I kind of like got tripped up. But now having played a lot of Aria of Sorrow, which I started on Tuesday, this is back to like exactly where I wanted to be. Like
Yeah.
Aria of Sorrow is steeped in all of like the mechanics and the gameplay that I really
This
wanted.
is post Symphony of the Night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have talked about Aria of Sorrow
I
before.
don't-
I'm sure y'all know.
Or
like,
you played Dawn of Sorrow.
I played Dawn of Sorrow.
Which is
That's the only one
the
I've ever
sequel.
talked about.
Yeah,
That's
so
the
you
only
play-
Castlevania game
It's like-
up until Lords of Shadow that I've
You
played.
motherfucker.
I'm sorry.
it's like the game takes place in like 2035 or
Yeah.
some shit like that.
Like in the future?
Yeah, in the
There's, like,
future.
cars and shit.
And you're a kid named Soma who is like hanging out with his friend. He's a foreign exchange student in Japan, hanging out with his Japanese girlfriend, and then they go to some shrine for this festival during an eclipse, and then he passes out and wakes up in Castlevania, in Dracula's castle, which apparently is like inside the eclipse. Is there a game that explains this? Like, did I skip
well,
a game that kind of
Just
like
keep
explains
going.
what
Just
the
keep
fuck's
going.
going on?
And play Dawn of Sorrow.
The dialogue and like the character interactions in this game are even cheesier than Symphony of the Night.
Oh,
though.
yeah.
Like it is fucking god awful, but kind of in a charming.
Iga did
wonderful
have
way.
like a timeline thing that I guess he never quite got to finish.
Oh,
Where,
he had like for his games.
Where like he was like striking certain games from the record. This one doesn't count anymore. This is the official timeline. Yeah,
Oh yeah, I gotcha.
You're actually embracing what Nintendo never did with Zelda.
yeah.
But yeah, so far, Symphony of the, or I mean, Aria of Sorrow is fucking awesome. It is so good. I do kind of miss. I what I really liked about one of the things that really stuck out to me from Symphony of the Night was the whole like the secret spell system. Like I always thought that was just a really fucking cool idea. Give the player all this power and all this ability and all these like really cool little tricks, and they're in the game accessible from minute one, but it's just about figuring it out, you know?
Yeah.
It's like eventually one day somebody tells you like, oh hey, by the way, if you do a Hadouken fireball, like Alucard does a spell that actually is really, really powerful that you never knew you had. That's a really cool moment.
Like the Dark Souls of its time.
Yeah, and like I kind of miss that a little bit, but what they replaced that with the soul system is almost better. Like the whole idea of like the soul system is fucking
So how does the soul
incredible. So every time you kill an enemy, there's a random chance that enemy will drop its soul, and most of those souls are usually like an offensive attack.
Yeah.
That it adds to you. So there's 3 different types of souls. There's like attacks, there's passive abilities, and then there's I don't know what you'd call them, but it's like a trigger.
Is that
Yeah, it's the same system.
Like I'll be honest, like I don't remember the specifics of the mechanics in Dawn of
Yeah,
Sorrow.
so-
My
so,
memory
like-
is not good.
So like every single enemy in the game. So like like the Axe Knights, right? Classic Axe Knights. Like if you kill one of those and it drops its soul, then you get the ability to throw those axes just like they do.
I remember
Like
that now.
that's really
Or like
fucking
the
cool.
skeletons that throw bones.
Right, you can throw
bone,
bones. The first one I got was the flying skeleton, so I could like throw spears.
Right.
But some of them have started like they're all kind of like like 95% of the souls I've gotten so far have been some kind of variation of that. Like, oh, he throws a sword, or he throws a bone, or he throws a spear, and like those are fun, those are cool. But some of the other ones that I'm finding as part of the story, or like just kind of randomly, are like particularly really awesome. I got one during this playthrough. I don't know if we'll get to it, but I killed a werewolf and got a werewolf soul, and the werewolf soul just like summons a column of flames that can just sit on an enemy and like deal a shit ton of damage.
Did you
to
get
them.
any transformation ones yet?
I haven't gotten any transformations yet.
Wait, whoa! You can transform?
Yeah.
I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing.
Is that a rhino?
I kind of figured there must be something like that to like turn into a bat or some shit
Yeah.
because.
The witches that throw cats.
Yeah.
That cat is so good. Get that cat.
Oh yeah, there's like 2 or 3 areas I found in the castle where I can't progress unless I can like get really small. And I figured it was probably like turning into a cat or a bat or some shit like that.
Maybe. You actually just throw cats at
Oh
enemies.
really? You just throw cats?
Yeah, and it's really powerful because they run along the ground and.
Oh yeah, and they can.
Oh, that's them!
hit
Kill those
enemies.
things over and over again. See, that's just so great about the soul system. It's really addictive. Not just because every enemy has a soul,
Yeah.
but because you can level up those souls and even evolve some of
See,
them.
I didn't even know that.
By
That, like getting multiple copies of souls. Like,
and
kinda
you
cool.
and I don't know if it's this one or Dawn of Sorrow, but once you reach the top level, they like evolve into more powerful versions of them, and it's fucking cool. You can grind like hours in this game just getting cool shit, man. And some souls are really hard to obtain, and oh man, it's fucking great. By the way, Bloodstained, this soul system is back in all but name.
Yeah. No, I noticed that
Yeah.
in Bloodstained when we
Yeah.
were playing the demo at E3 that they
So
had
I can't fucking wait.
the soul mechanic.
Now, you know what I'd recommend, Crispy. Maybe Brad's better make this recommendation, but I would say like after you finish Aria of Sorrow, switch gears, play like Axiom Verge Lane, cleanse your palate,
Yeah.
and then come
That'd
back
be
to play
good,
Dawn of
yeah.
Sorrow or
Play
something.
Dawn of Sorrow.
Or any of the. I mean,
Dawn
I'm
of
still
Sorrow's
really hoping to play more of the DS games because I love
Yeah.
Dawn of Sorrow.
Yeah.
Dawn of Sorrow was the DS, right?
Yeah.
Well,
There's Dawn of Sorrow, Order of Ecclesia, and don't tell me, Portrait of Ruin on the DS.
Right.
I want to play any one of those.
I would just do Dawn of Sorrow next, but maybe not right away.
Yeah. So I mean, everyone who was disappointed that I didn't continue with
Dude,
Metroid Prime, I'm sorry.
You gave it a really
And I
good
will-
shot. I'm surprised you got as far as you did.
I want to finish it. Like I really want to finish it.
If I can finish it,
I
Crispy.
just don't
But I mean,
like.
you're
I don't
much
know
better
if
than
I'm gonna
Crispy.
finish it. I don't know. I'm debating whether or not I'm gonna finish it on the feed, just because
Just
it's
do it off the feed.
huh.
Just do it off the feed.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really cool because it's a Metroidvania, but like it's really a Metroidvania in a very like kind of high-minded conceptual way. Like the actual minute gameplay.
Also,
Isn't
it becomes a
really-
Metroidvania when you start looking for secrets.
Dude, Big Wazoo has a good point. Fucking, you know what you need to play? Alien Infestation, because that's a fucking Metroidvania.
That game's cool, but I mean, it's not as good.
Alien
Some of the
Infestation.
other
That
ones
was a
I don't
DS
play.
game, right?
Yeah, DS
Yeah.
game. Made by WayForward. They made the Shantae games, and those are also good Metroidvanias. You know what? There's a new Shantae game coming out.
Yep.
Watch a trailer.
Was that at PAX or E3 that one year
Hero or
where
something? Half
we
Genie
went up
Hero.
to Sega and we were
They're-
like, "Do
they're
y'all have Alien Infestation here?" And she's like, yeah, hold on one second." And then she like went over to like the PR desk and she like got a key out and like opened a drawer and like handed us a DS.
Nice.
I was like, "What is happening right now?"
Yeah.
You had to seek it out to play it. But apparently that game is pretty cool too.
Interesting.
Speaking of
But I'm glad you're enjoying it. But
Metroidvanias-
speaking of Metroidvania, let me do the transitions, Nolan. I was going the same place. Speaking of Metroidvanias, Nolan, I hear you've been playing a Metroidvania as well.
Yep. Hitman. No, I'm just kidding.
What?
Song of the Deep.
GameStop
Song of the
exclusive.
Deep.
Yeah, yes.
Wait, do you really have to buy it at a GameStop still?
You can download it,
Yeah,
I
you
think.
can download it.
You can only get the physical copy.
Yeah,
of
GameStop has all
Song of
the
the
hard
Deep.
copies. But anyway, yeah.
This is that Insomniac game that was announced and shown at PAX South.
Yep.
Yeah.
This year.
Yep. So what's up, Brad?
There's a delay.
Oh yeah, that you didn't see me earlier doing this because there's a delay. Anyway, Song of the Deep. I've put a good 2-3 hours into this. So it's pretty good. I'm playing it on the PS4. It's definitely I run into some frame rate issues. I'll say that first off, just because it's a good looking game
Yeah,
stylistically.
it's pretty.
That it gets frustrating when every once in a while, like there's a little stutter every once in a while when certain areas load up or
Yeah.
whatever. But anyway, yeah, it's straight up, Metroidvania, but underwater in a submarine.
How's it control? Like, how's it feel in the water?
It controls pretty well. I recently, every time you kill enemies and they drop a couple coins, and then you can find coins as treasure hidden throughout the world, and use that treasure to upgrade your ship. And some of the stuff you can upgrade is like how it handles. You
Yeah.
can increase the boost and stuff like that. But it handles fairly well for what it is.
Man, you know what's funny? I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's
like
fine.
talking about like controlling things underwater. I feel like Inside may have ruined that for me. Like with the way, remember that you get that underwater thing?
Yeah, that little pod
That
he
controlled
flies.
so well.
That was
Best
pretty cool.
controlling underwater 2D thing. Rayman Legends.
Oh,
So good.
Yeah.
Felt so good underwater.
But yeah, so I mean, it's good. It's a little handholdy in the sense that there are save points everywhere.
There's no sense of like risk or
Yeah, no, like I don't care if I die. I get spawned like 10 feet away, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, and you'll notice like that little yellow thing, right? That's a save point. Now, if I get even too close to it, you'll see me give them a wide berth sometimes. Because if I get too close, it slows down time because it saves, and it like takes a second to like it pauses the game a little bit, and then. But you see the frame rate getting a
Yeah.
lot. That's not this footage. That's the game every once in a while.
unfortunate.
Yeah, no, it sucks. Like I said, just because the game looks so good.
It's gorgeous.
That it's unfortunate when it starts to get a little framey. But yeah, so no, I've played a little bit. I've done one boss fight so far.
What are the bosses?
So the one boss I fought was a giant underwater spider.
Those are called crabs.
Yep, spider crab. He would shoot shit at me, and I'd have to dodge it, and then and then like something would come out and get stuck on his web or something, and I would like
Underwater webs?
Yeah, underwater webs. And
Those are called nets.
Yep. I would like attack it to like it was like wrapped up in his like webbing, and I would attack it so it would become unwrapped, and he would freak out and he'd run over to wrap it back up, and then I would like just pull like random webs from like where he was, and eventually he like, but I don't know, it was an okay boss fight. Funny thing is though, if I ever enter that boss fight area from the left side, the boss music starts. Even after I've defeated the boss.
Even though there's nothing there to
This
fight?
seems
Yeah.
a little,
It-
like rushed.
It
you know?
does.
Yeah.
No, it definitely seems
Well,
like.
they announced it at PAX South.
Well,
Yeah,
they
in
announced,
January.
they
Yeah.
announced it, and they hadn't even finished it, and it's
Yeah.
already out. No, they definitely
It was like
rushed
6
this.
months ago. They
Yeah.
I wonder how much pressure from GameStop.
Oh my
was.
god, probably a shit
Insomniac,
ton.
too. This is weird.
Yeah, no, like it's definitely got a little bit of.
It's definitely unlike anything Insomniac's ever
It's
done.
unfinished
Dude.
in a lot of ways. Like I don't think they did enough testing. Anyway, but so what I played is good. The music's pretty good. This is this is like very early footage.
Brad likes underwater
I
things.
forgot that I recorded this footage as early as I did. I think that's the first upgrade I
How much
bought
have you
right
played?
there.
Like how long would you say?
I think at least 3 hours, maybe a little more.
Gotcha.
The world is fairly large. See, this is me trying to figure out how I can get through those. Later on, you get an ability that's like a torpedo that lets you blast through that.
So that feeling of like coming across certain things, being like, how the hell do I get through this?
Definitely. No,
and
that's
then unlocking something down the road and being like, oh, like
exactly.
all that stuff's still intact.
But the problem with that is there's a lot of that like hidden like gyms and stuff. And like I said, like you'll see it and you'll pull up the map and you can see the gym on the map. You can be like, look, I can see, like if you look when I pulled up the map there, you see these little green, look like diamonds or something. You'll see them on the map. And you're like, oh, I definitely missed something there. Now that I have this new ability, let me backtrack and go grab it. Turns out that wasn't the ability you needed. Like you needed something else. And it sucks just because you can't see on the map what you needed. You have to either remember and that's, honestly, I've stopped backtracking as much because I'm like, you know what, fuck it. I'm just going to move forward. But it's nice because you can get, see, this is another thing where I didn't have an ability. You unlock a boost ability that I didn't have yet, and I was like, maybe if I just I was trying to get that little like head onto the statue below by throwing it through a current, but I needed like a boost ability that I didn't have unlocked yet.
Sloppy design, like well-designed Metroidvanias don't have this issue so much.
So the problem is you come across a lot of shit earlier than the ability you have for it, but you don't exactly know that you don't have the ability. You like, can I do this yet?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a situation where, because you can unlock a bunch of stuff via like upgrades with those coins, and so it's kind of like I'm constantly trying to find more coins so I can upgrade my ship to increase my boost, make my attack stronger, make my little chain attack go out farther, whatever. I don't know. I'm still gonna play it. I don't know how many bosses there are. The story's okay. I don't love it.
What's the story?
So you're this girl, Marin, and your dad was a fisherman. He went off on the sea to do shit, and then one day he didn't come back. And she was like, "Well, fuck this," and she builds that submarine you're in a day. And then she goes out in the ocean looking for him, and she starts finding clues, and she meets like a mermaid, and the mermaid's like, "Oh, the mermaid."
It's like her dad always used to tell her stories about all these fantastic things under the ocean.
It's very like,
and then she goes out there
and starts discovering.
She goes out there and is like, it was all real. It was all, he was right. I've seen a lot of like marketing material for this game.
I can imagine.
And one of the head like writers on the game, like a lot of the ideas for like the main character came from his daughter, who's like 12 or 13 years old. So it's all kind of like it kind of has this feel that it's like written by a little girl, you know. I don't know, nothing about this game, like it seems cool, it seems interesting, but nothing. So you know what this game makes me like think? Like it looks kind of cool, but I kind of just wish that like Galaxy was a Metroidvania.
Here, let me
would have been exactly
as
like
someone
this.
who's played a lot of Metroidvanias. Maybe let me make some recommendations. Kind of like with Am Setsuna, they have good intentions, but there's a lot of alternatives out there. If you're looking at this and you think it seems cool, but the reviews are somewhat suspect, maybe try. Aquaria is an underwater Metroidvania that is, I think, a lot more successful than this. This game also, if you like kind of piloting a ship around, there's Insanely Twisted Shadow Planet, which is a game that has like a better style, but it's very similar to this.
Is that a Metroidvania?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That game's fucking awesome.
There's also a... if you just kind of like the physicsy aspects of it, it's not quite a Metroidvania, but Pixel Junk Shooter is really cool as well. There's a lot of stuff out there kind of like this. If you just are in the mood to play a Metroidvania, maybe don't necessarily pick this one up yet. Maybe get it on like a Steam sale or something. A lot of stuff out there.
But yes, I mean, I am enjoying what I've played. I'll keep playing it. Just once again, like I said, I'm going to stop exploring so much and just kind of go where I'm supposed to go until I have.
Which is a shame for a Metroidvania.
No, it definitely is.
You know they got something wrong.
No, yeah, I definitely agree. It's not perfect. The controls also aren't like how you change, because like I got a torpedo, but then I just recently got that upgraded to where I can have like a magma torpedo as well. But it's weird because like you it's not twin stick. So when you shoot something, you have to kind of be moving in that direction because it's kind of physicsy. But and that's fine early on. But once you get torpedoes, you kind of want to use the second analog stick. But you can't because that's what you use to switch between your torpedoes.
Weird design choice.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'll keep playing it though. Like I said, the music's good. The story's kind of intriguing. I just recently got the ability to exit the sub as the girl to go swimming around.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
When the fuck is Anne gonna come out?
I know.
Motherfuck,
when you were
man.
listing games, I was gonna say Anne, but I was like, wait, that's not out yet.
Anne, Chasm.
Yeah.
Where are these great Metroidvanias that
have been in development for fucking years.
When are they fucking coming out?
The problem is they're being all these games are being developed by like one dude.
Yeah,
Well,
motherfuck.
dude, it's gonna be exactly like what's the game we talked about last week that's coming out in like a week that we're like the indie game, the hacking game.
Oh,
Cowboy. Quadrilateral Cowboy. Like that game. Like we completely forgot about that, even though we all loved it like 3 or 4 years ago, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh yeah, it's coming out at the end of the month. I can't wait to play that.
Yeah,
by
I've
the
never
way.
even
That's gonna be cool.
seen that.
All right.
I've only heard you guys talk about Quadrilateral Cowboy.
It's cool. It's cool.
It is fucking cool. All right. Before we take a break, I have one more game I want to talk about, and then we'll do the break. We'll come back and we'll hit your last game. I think that'll.
We'll hit it?
We'll hit it.
Hit
We'll
it
hit it.
hard.
We'll hit it.
I have a game I want to talk about. It's easily the game I've been playing the most of the past week. It's a little weird.
it's still shocking to me.
It's a little weird because we talked about it a few weeks ago.
Yep.
We were very lukewarm on it at best. I have played
Mirror's
a
Edge.
lot more, and I am
Really?
totally in love with this game now.
Really?
Mirror's Edge Catalyst. I have played probably 20, 25 hours this game. Maybe not 25. Probably 20 hours, though.
What happened? Is this game really just that like slow of a burn?
No,
That,
it's-
like if you
There
stick
are
with it
there
for
are
20
some
hours?
missteps to be sure
Yeah.
in Mirror's Edge. One being the fucking skill. So the fact that they lock things behind a skill tree in this game is a completely terrible decision that I
Must
think does us a
admit.
disservice. And I think it really is that easy to turn people that is probably their biggest misstep, and it probably turns a lot of people off. But I finally started playing more, and it was funny because I started playing it more reluctantly. What are you doing?
think he
was- There's a delay.
I do have footage.
No, I think I'm talking about the delay.
I think
like,
Chris
Too busy talking.
There's my
like
footage.
how,
All right.
how long
So-
the delay is.
What's changed, aside from the fact that I've just gotten a lot more, I've explored more of the world, and I really like the world in this game. I just want to get that out of the way. I think the world is actually really cool. It has a really unique feel. It's everything about this game is literally like, now that I've played a significant chunk of it, is everything I really wish. It feels like a do-over because Mirror's Edge 1 had a lot of problems, and this does just about everything Mirror's Edge 1 I wish kind of had done the first time around. I
Yeah.
love the world. The story is not blowing my socks off or anything, but it's decent, and the fact that the presentation is totally fixed this time is great. Like the characters, the cutscenes, so far they're all pretty good.
There's no more insurance commercials.
No more insurance commercials. But most importantly, the thing that's clicked for me, the thing that's made me like this game so much is the fucking movement system has finally it clicked. It hit it, and it's gotten to, like, because we started playing this, and it is a very non-traditional like way of controlling a character, I guess, and it kind of demands a lot of the player and whatnot.
It takes a lot of getting used to what you can do, how you can interact with the world.
It takes a lot of effort
and
from the player side to actually
it does.
learn this
And
stuff.
then when you fuck up, it's kind of like,
And you
oh
fuck up
my
a lot.
god, like your momentum just got killed.
Exactly.
And like it can
when
be
you're
hard.
trying to learn this game and you
Yeah.
keep killing your momentum and you're like, oh god, I'm never gonna get to the point where I'm not like tripping all over myself and falling to my death all the time, but you do.
Yeah.
Like if you give it a little more
You
time and
eventually
you
get
play with
good,
it,
son.
it eventually gets to the point like you'll see like this. So what you're watching right now is like there's grid nodes, what they call them, set up across the city, and you have to solve these big elaborate like platforming puzzles. Basically,
That seems cool.
Dude, it's kind of like, it looks very Portal-esque. Like
Yeah,
these big
no, it
giant.
does,
You're
yeah.
in these giant server rooms, and you're trying to get at the top of these like towers to like activate this computer, which unlocks fucking fast travel essentially. Which I'm not doing it for the fast travel. I'm doing it because I love the fucking puzzle rooms. And there's actually a lot of rooms like this spread out throughout like the main story missions too. Like I like exploring the open world, but it's the moments where they like funnel you into like these set piece areas where you're doing this kind of stuff that's really fucking awesome.
Was there anything like this in the latest Tomb Raider game? No, exactly.
No.
But you know what this is very reminiscent of? Classic Tomb Raider.
But what I want to point out here is like, so like I'm playing this session here, and with the exception maybe once, I think, I don't fall. Like I don't fall, I don't die. I keep my momentum. That feeling of being in, being in her, behind her eyes, and like looking around and kind of feeling like I'll stop, and like that feeling of looking around, like trying to find your next point to like grab onto is really like visceral, and it feels really fucking cool. Yeah, sure. It does have a lot of elements that are missing from modern Tomb Raider, that you would come to expect. But man, the only thing I can say is it fucking finally clicked. And the fact that everything else that Mirror's Edge 1 didn't do well, this now does really well, makes it kind of a full package for me. Mm-hmm. And not to mention, at this point, I've unlocked most of the skill tree stuff, so I finally don't really feel shackled by those skill trees. And once you get through that stuff, it's just a giant jungle gym to play around in. And the world is fucking cool. They give you a grappling hook. And you can like, and so you can actually swing between. I mean, you can only use it in specific places, but like, it'll bridge the gap between certain buildings and like giant, streets and whatnot. And so you'll be running and you'll do all these cool shit, and then you're like, you see a point that you can latch onto, and it just keeps your momentum flowing without having to really stop and think about it too much. They've even fixed like the combat actually works too. It's not crazy deep or anything. You don't do a lot of it. You never pick up a gun. But like that feeling,
couldn't you use a gun in the first game?
You could, and it was terrible, and it didn't work. But like this, you can totally get through, like play this game, and like
encounters aren't very common though.
Like eventually, like something happens in the story, and they start like the security throughout the city starts like trying to keep an eye out for you and whatnot. So like you'll see little security cameras kind of all over the city, and if you stay in front of that security camera for like 4 or 5 seconds, it'll like identify you, and then it will call back up, and then it becomes kind of like GTA where you have like stars. So suddenly like you'll see doors all over the place that say KSEC, which is the name of the security company that like the police that police the city. They'll come bursting through the doors, and you'll see like choppers coming overhead and trying to find you. But if you stay in this like this radius too long, you'll get more stars and more people start showing up, and you essentially have to just run, find a place to hide until everything blows over.
Mm-hmm. It's cool that combat is just something that's sort of like occasionally there just to add sort of to the atmosphere of the world. It makes sense, but it's not very deep, but you don't do it that often, so it's like, it's fine that it's there. You know what I mean? Kind of like classic Tomb Raider. If only modern Tomb Raider understood that.
I meant to tell Chris Davis to start this footage a little bit later, because actually I do get to a point in this footage where I go out into the open world, and like what's really cool is you'll be running, you'll be jumping and sliding and rolling and swinging between buildings, and all of a sudden you come over a ledge, and you're during a jump, and then you'll see like some police officers that are like bullying someone, like another runner or whatever. Yeah. And I'll just like leap, and then in the middle of the leap, I'll decide I'm going for it, and you just hit the attack button, and you just come in and you just wail on them mid jump, and then you just go into combat. You can dodge, you can slide, you can run up walls, and then if you hit R1, she'll do like a quick turn, so you can run up a wall, hit R1, quick turn, and then hit the attack button, and she'll leap off the wall and like punch dudes and kick them and shit, and like you can do it. Like the combat doesn't really get in the way of the momentum very much. It can seriously slow you down sometimes, but like that moment when you're running and all of a sudden you decide to enter combat and it works and it just flows together super nice is awesome.
Does Faith ever say, "I hate running and jumping from building to building"?
No.
No. Unlike Laura in the most recent Tomb Raider game.
God damn you.
I feel like Brad's got something he wants to talk about.
Yeah, something you want to get off your chest there, Brad?
We're going to have to wait to the 4-player minute.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. We'll talk about that.
Pointy, pixelated chest.
Man. But yeah, I thought this was very strange. I certainly didn't expect it. It was funny as I picked it up literally as like, I felt like it was a chore. I was like, well, I finished the other game I was playing, and I don't, like, there's no new releases right now. This is before Am Setsuna came out, so I was kind of like, look at this. Right here, I'm looking around, like, trying to figure out, like, where the fuck? And this is actually, I don't think, the way you're supposed to get out. I'm, like, looking around, trying to find an exit. I'm like,
isn't this like a game developer's nightmare, though? You not knowing how to get to where you need to go?
You, like, literally, you can, like, that feeling of like trying to find it. Like,
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah. Oh, by the way, I turned all the. So a few weeks ago, someone had
Yeah, you turned
recommended
everything
turn off
off.
all the shit.
Yeah.
That is absolutely 100%.
But then how do you figure out where to go?
You learn it.
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
like,
Kind of like classic Tomb Raider.
fuck, god damn it, Brad. Yes, kind of like classic Tomb Raider. I kind of
It's like inherently satisfying to figure out how to get to where you need to go, right?
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
god. It's like fucking crazy.
It's you know what's funny, and I know this is just gonna fuel your Tomb Raider
fucking good.
rant, Brad. But like, this is I feel really weird saying this, but like I've played enough of it at this point, and I'm looking back at we did our top 5 games of the year so far last week. This absolutely would have been close to the top of my list had I
You gotta
played
finish it.
more of
I just saw MGS in the chat saying there's like way more combat towards the end, but
probably.
Huh.
I mean, like games these days, a lot of games tend to like not fall apart at the end, but yeah, they start to put stuff towards the end that
Like,
is
oh, you have to have boss encounters.
Yeah, and it's
blah,
like-
blah,
They try
blah,
to-
you know what also always falls apart towards the end? Classic Tomb Raider.
like
that your
there's
grappling
the
hook?
there's the grappling
Nice.
hook.
Yeah,
And you
that's
just keep
cool.
going.
Yeah.
So like watch this. Like I'm running, okay, and there's all of a sudden there's dudes, and I was like, and fuck you, and then you just break into combat. I'm swinging dudes around. They bump into each other. They have physics. You pull them, you kick them, and then you just keep going. And like that shit is cool. And then you just keep running. Like it's so good. And they have orbs, kind of like Crackdown. Like not crazy addicting like Crackdown because it's not nearly as
They're
like.
not everywhere.
Because the reward.
I mean,
for
they
them
are
is not as
everywhere,
cool.
but they're not like placed in like not. There's
Hard
some
to
of them that are
reach
placed,
and,
but like
yeah.
there are a lot of them, and they tie directly into the skill tree system. So yes, you're looking for them, and they help you, and they're fun. Some of them are super fun to try and get to.
Yeah, but I mean, they're not everywhere in the sense that like you pick one up and then you turn your head to the left and there's another one. You're like,
Sometimes.
oh, I'll just
Yeah,
get
that,
one.
that loop in
I'll just
get
Crackdown
one
was like
more.
created
I'll
in a
just get
fucking
one more.
lab, man.
Yeah, it's-
like there's nothing that captures that as
Honestly,
good as Crackdown.
I think that may have inspired this choice to do
Yeah,
this.
Saints
like
Row
this.
4 was pretty close.
Yeah.
But and one last thing I'll say about it is because you asked me to go like, you were being facetious, but like, how do you find your way around? But like, their use of color in this game is really good. Like a lot of times, if you're trying to figure out where to go, a lot of times it's like look for a color and follow it, and it will just kind of naturally like what the red line. Because if you turn on the red helper line or whatever, everything's fucking red. You turn that off. There's yellows and oranges and purples and blues and. You know, they don't really indicate anything in particular, but it just kind of like leads the eye in a really cool way. And the world design is cool. Like I'm totally fucking loving this game.
cool.
That's
So,
good.
I would urge you.
Maybe
I
I'll
would
play
say
it for
give
the
it
end of the
another
year.
chance
Just
for the end
kind
of
of
the year.
beeline through the story.
Yeah, and honestly, that's what I was intending on doing. And then I started doing some of the side stuff, and I was like, "There's some pretty cool side stuff." Like a lot of the side stuff will lead you into areas like that big server room, and you're just like, "These are some of my favorite moments in the game." So I've been actually started searching some of that stuff out.
Nice.
So, anyways, that's Mirror's Edge Catalyst. I just wanted to set the record straight on that because we were very not very negative, but like we were
kinda
a little down on it, a little meh on it at the beginning. And I really think that's a game if you think you might enjoy it, you got to kind of push through the beginning. And I know that sucks to say because they made some weird decisions, but if you push through it, you might find something there that you really enjoy.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're gonna take a quick break. We'll come back. I know Nolan has one more game to talk about. He played the new episode of Hitman. Is that the one with Gary Busey?
No.
Damn!
Well, Gary, we'll talk about it.
Okay. Well, you play the new Hitman. We'll talk about that. We'll do patron questions and all that good stuff and news when we come back. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll see you on the other side.
Yep. Yay.
Ice cream.
Lieutenant Danny got no legs.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. And Nolan
What
has
up?
one more game to talk about,
I do?
right?
Yep.
Hitman.
Yeah, Hitman.
Hitman.
Episode, what episode? are we
Wait
on?
a
Episode-
minute. We've talked about Hitman before.
A little bit, but now it's episodic.
This is so weird.
So episode 3 came out a while
Why
ago,
did
but
you
I
do
just
it-
kind of
why-
got around to
just
playing it.
curious, why did Chris Davis put 3 in Roman numerals?
I don't know. It's not in Roman numerals.
Was it Star
I didn't
Wars?
write it in Roman numerals. I wrote the number 3.
Whatever. Just
Anyway, Hitman episode 3, Marrakesh is where this one takes place.
All right, yeah. So wait, let's recap for a second. Episode 1 took place during
Paris.
the fashion show.
Yep,
Paris.
fashion show in Paris.
Episode 2 was like it was like Isle Delfino from Mario Sunshine or something.
No. It was Sapienza.
Sapienza. There we go.
Sapienza.
And this one takes place in Marrakesh.
Marrakesh.
Down South America.
I added myself to the doc because I played some of this episode as well back when it came out.
Yeah. So one thing that's impressive, a lot of bodies in this. There's like a shit ton of
living bodies.
Yeah, like you remember in Blood Money when you're when you're at the Mardi Gras thing and there's all those like just like people.
Chinatown. He was talking about Absolution.
Yeah, because I you know what? I couldn't beat that fucking mission in Absolution.
No, so in this, there's a lot. There's a section that was actually kind of making my. I had to cut down because I will also mention that I am playing this on PC instead of my PS4, and I had to turn down the settings a bit because I was casting while I was playing it. And I think at one point I was downsampling, so I even had that going, and like all the people were kind of causing it the frame rate to go down a little bit. But yeah, so now that I've started playing this on PC, I will tell you that PC is the way to play.
Yeah.
Because oh my god, do you remember like when the first time I was showing footage and it took like 10 seconds to pull up the map and took like a minute and a half to reload a level? No longer the case. Level loads. This one's a little bit longer, I think, just because there's so many people and it's so big. This takes maybe like less than 10 seconds.
Wow.
It's
how much of that is your ridiculous computer, though, Nolan?
It's a combination. I mean, it's the fact that it's on an SSD.
Didn't you also say The Witcher 3 took like 4 seconds to load or something?
Maybe less. Yeah.
Maybe less?
No, but yeah, that's what I'm saying though, because I started playing this on the PS4 and I couldn't. I got frustrated playing this game because like I said, I like to fuck around in these games.
It was not optimized.
And I couldn't. Like I found myself not fucking around because I just didn't. But this now, I fuck around all the time. That's like all I do. I just fuck around, reload.
Is there a quick save one?
I don't think so.
Probably not with the way it's.
I mean,
all, like,
you can probably hotkey it. Probably you can probably. I just haven't looked into it yet.
You just threw a wrench at that guy.
That's what you do in this game.
Yeah, why not? But those people saw, and I was like, oh no. So I was like, fuck these people.
Do you think some of these problems, like technical issues, will be patched and included in the physical disc when it finally comes out?
I don't think so. That's a hardware issue. It's trying to, because like I said, these worlds are big. Like I said, my PC was having a couple of issues while I was streaming just because there's a lot going on. I just don't think it's just too much. The worlds are huge. There's no loading in between. I mean, if you look back at Blood Money, those maps were fairly small.
Yeah.
And there was not a whole lot. Like the maps are big. There's shit tons of people that have like pathing and stuff like that. There's a decent amount going on in this. But yeah, once again, now that I have the ability to fuck around,
Why are you staring at a door?
I was waiting for a guy to move, I think. But look how instantly the fucking menu comes up on this.
Oh yeah.
And when you play it on console, it takes like at least 10 seconds.
I stopped. I couldn't do it anymore.
Right?
I mean, I bet my PC, especially with the new hard drive, it'd run a lot better. But
you can play my copy.
I'm still. Oh, you have it on Steam?
Jesus.
Yeah, this is Steam.
Whoa, that was.
That
was crazy.
Can you sign in again?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
No, please.
No, I will.
Don't forget.
But yeah, so
I need it for
this looks a little frame ratey too, but that's because I was streaming this while I was recording footage.
Yeah.
So I mean, but when I'm playing offline, oh my god, downsampled. I run it at like a higher bit rate, or sorry, higher frame rate than my monitor can handle at over 60 frames a second. It's fucking beautiful, and the fact that it now loads quickly, I've been having a lot of fun. This mission was pretty good too. I liked it. It's kind of, there's this coup going, like about to start. The rioting going on, and you got to sneak in and kill a guy, and whatever. And there's so many different things you can do. So many ways you can. Once again, we've talked about it before, but they're 86 ways to kill your target or whatever. Like, yeah, dude, there's so many different things you can do in this game. I did like a 360 no scope soda can throw at one of my enemies. It was pretty good. Yeah, like hopefully like someone clips that out or something. But it's frustrating how big of a difference PC and and console make with this game.
I have a feeling. I may not be a PC expert. I have a feeling though. This experience may be like the disparity may be bigger because your PC is so good?
No,
Like,
it definitely is, but I still think like loading would be a thing that would go quicker.
I think yeah, probably so.
I think the graphics and shit, yes, are definitely to my PC and the frame rate, I guess. But no, I think loading is a limitation of the console as well.
Yeah.
And remember, a lot of the
really wanna-
problems are all sluggish on consoles because of all the network stuff, you know? Like, that really kind of slows down the menus and
yeah,
whatnot.
that is another thing, that this game it has to be connected to the internet to play, period, the end. Which is something really dumb. Like, I've tried many ways to kind of get
Is that
around.
specific to PC or both?
No, console as well. Which, well, that's what Brad's saying. That definitely does not help the console experience, the fact that you have to be online.
Not to mention, I don't know what's going on with my PS4, but like when I'm playing Dark Souls 2, I get disconnected from fucking PSN.
Really? That
Like
sucks.
I get disconnected from the servers, the Dark Souls 2 servers, every like 10 minutes, and then if I want to restart it, I have to like quit out of the game and reload my
that
game,
sucks, yeah.
reinitialize it. And I noticed the same thing kind of happening when I was playing I was playing something else recently, and I kept getting booted off, and I'm kind of worried about if I was to fucking start playing this, am I gonna be in the middle?
So
of
when I
get
played this on the
booted out?
console, I didn't have any network issues or anything that it kicked me off.
Yeah.
I think early on
I'm
it
wondering
did
if
have a
part of
couple.
my issue is like something at my house, like.
It's possible. I don't know. But do you see how many? Those are all like just fucking real people in this. Like, there's a lot of fucking humans,
Yeah.
and that's one of the things that you can tell that these aren't dynamic like they are something like The Witcher. Like The Witcher gives you the ability to control background characters. There's literally a slider for how many people there are there in the world.
Yeah.
This does not give you that option, and I wish it did, because I would have turned that down, because
Yeah.
that probably would have made it run a little smoother. But yeah, you know, true to Hitman fashion, I want you to see my kill on this target that comes in within a minute. That just because this is after that I had already beat this mission, like real. You know, I spent my
reals.
time, and I kind of followed the pathing of my targets for a while, and you know, I had fun with it. But this one, I was just kind of recording this footage, and I was just like, I happened to come across my target, and I was like, oh well, I can take a shot, and no one's looking at me. So yep, that's how it works. And that's kind of one of the things that's so good about this. You can't. So that's him up in that window, and I saw him up there, and I was like, hey, that's my target. So, boop. And I just sneak away.
That was low key.
Yeah. And
Nice.
crime noticed. Someone noticed me do it, but yeah. So that it's still fun. So you were asking about Gary Busey, and that's a system they have, a mechanic that they have limited like contracts. Like they
Yeah.
have like, hey, this is like a thing going on now.
Was
and
that part of this episode?
yes, it happens on this map.
Yeah.
It wasn't out when it came out today.
Yeah.
The Gary Busey target, and so
That's
that's
so random.
and that's kind of one of the things that I've actually, now that I have this on PC and I can play it a little bit, not having to wait a goddamn hour
Yeah.
of loading every time I play the game. I might start doing some of and it's kind of something I brought up when they first talked about it being episodic, but it's like user-generated like missions, like putting an enemy here and doing this, and like really making use of the maps and just changing where enemies are and changing who your target is and changing your objectives, and just because that's one of the things that we were worried about, was that being episodic and not having enough content. I think the content's definitely there. I think it was just more of I didn't want to fucking do it
Yeah.
on my console when I had to take so long to even pull up the map.
By the way, the Gary Busey thing, there was a vote. People voted for Gary Busey. It was Gary Busey or Gary Cole,
Really?
Oh yeah, I remember.
who's
that.
Lumberg from Office
Yeah,
Space.
yeah.
And Birdman.
And Birdman.
Harvey Birdman.
Oh, he's also the dad from Talladega Nights.
Yep.
Yeah. That's
guy.
egregious.
That guy.
I like him.
I think they picked correctly. I like
Yeah, I mean,
Gary
there
Busey
was no
is-
competition, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
But yeah, so I mean,
landslide.
Hitman episode 3 was pretty good. I liked it. I haven't. The thing was, because I booted it up on PC, and I was like, oh shit,
Why did we
like
get all blurry? That's
I don't
weird.
know.
Sorry.
I don't. It wouldn't let me play the episode right away because I hadn't played the previous ones.
Yeah.
I think I went through the training mission in the first 2 episodes in about an hour and 10 minutes. I blew through all 3 of them just because I knew where my targets were, and I knew like, oh, just it's kind of one of those things where Hitman, you can like beat, you can beat it in 2 minutes, whatever, if you know where you're going and stuff. But I still had a little more fun just because I took some different paths that I had taken in the past, and kind of there I don't know how much of the opportunities being revealed I'm going to make use of. That's the new mechanic they've added, where if you listen in on someone's conversation, it'll like throw up some like prompts on your HUD, like, oh, there's an opportunity over here. The Sheik is a very private individual, and he's often in his room, and you can maybe sneak in his room and kill him and disguise yourself as him. Kind of that kind of stuff. I got caught there.
That took him out. Look
with
at that.
scissors in his face.
Very. Jesus. This is brutal.
I think the first time I played this, when I was casting it last night, I picked up, I think at one point I had at least like 12 or maybe more throwable objects, like hammers and wrenches and fucking scissors, and I just went ham at one point and just started throwing them at everybody.
Sweet.
Yeah. Anyway, it's pretty good.
Cool.
I liked it. I'm going to play more.
Sweet. All right. I think that's all the games we have to talk about, right? Am I missing anything?
Yeah.
According to the doc, I think that covered
I'm
about
still
it.
plugging away at Persona.
Cool.
Fury update. I beat 2 more bosses.
Yeah.
Still fucking loving it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a cool game.
Yeah.
That is, like I said last week, I think that's going to be a game I go back to every once in a while, beat a boss, take a break.
No, that's what I said. I last night, I said I was going to start with Fury.
Yeah.
I forgot about Hitman, so I was like, you know what? I'm going to play Fury for an hour. And then that hour, I beat 2 bosses, and I was like, all right, good stopping point. And then I stopped and switched over to this.
Have you died yet?
Yeah.
Chai Tai beat that whole game without dying.
What?
Oh, you did?
Really?
Oh.
I knew.
It's like,
I've
incredible.
died 4 times.
fuck you. I died like 4 times in the first hour. All right.
I'm almost done with Quantum Break.
Oh, how is that going?
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
What chapter are you on?
Chapter Act 4, I think. I traveled through time.
All right.
Ooh.
All right. We
Seven.
didn't need to know about that.
There's time travel in the game,
Dinosaurs.
by the way.
I love that game.
All right.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's cool.
Let's go.
All right. Let's do news. I have a news topic to bring to the table.
Don't do that.
Oh, I'm sorry. God damn it. Ah!
Oh, hey, what's up? What's up?
I'm sorry. People listening to the audio podcast have no idea what just happened, so let's just breeze right on through it. So.
Yep. Moving on.
Nioh. I'm very, 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 very excited for Nioh. The game is still apparently coming out this year.
Yep.
And we had an alpha, what they were calling it, alpha,
That's what it was.
a few months ago, prior to E3, and then at E3 we played it, and there have been a few improvements added from the feedback given to us by that alpha. But they announced they're going to be releasing a beta of the game coming out August 23rd. Just like the alpha, it's only going to be available for a limited amount of time.
I think it's like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's August 23rd through September 6th.
Sounds about 2
I'm
weeks.
actually excited now after playing it at E3.
Yeah, it's going to include all of the improvements they've been talking about they've made since the alpha happened, which is still, like I said, like a really cool way to kind of develop a game and ensure its reception is good. They're taking feedback from the community after playing alphas and submitting it, and then implementing it, and then seeing how people like it. That's so fucking cool.
It is.
And it's also good for this game specifically because if they didn't do any of that and they just put it out, I think it would have this very much like, oh, they tried to do Dark Souls and they kind of failed in all these different ways. And now they're getting feedback from people who love Dark Souls.
Dude, I don't care. If they'd put out the alpha, if that was a full-fledged game, I still would have fucking loved it.
Yeah, probably me too.
It definitely had issues, but it was still fun.
This new beta is going to have a tutorial mode to kind of give you an idea of
For the scrubs.
which is something a lot of people. Well, I mean, it's you know,
I will say that
could-
I think that at least one of the areas that's going to be is what we played at E3.
Yeah.
It was tough. Like it definitely was
game's
not
not
easy.
fucking around.
Yeah, the two
Yeah.
because it was like very tight corridors,
God.
and there were like like the fucking
Those giant terracotta
terracotta statues, and some of them would come to life, and
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
I hope that really comes.
I had a
together,
blast playing the alpha, even without the tutorial mode, because like learning by doing in that game just seemed really cool, and the world seems really cool. It's just I'm super excited for it.
Totes.
I'm wondering if maybe after this beta we're gonna get a release date, because it seems like they've done an alpha, they're doing a beta now. They're still saying it's coming out in 2016.
Beautiful.
There's only like 6 months left.
Beautiful.
What?
Nothing.
It was a beautiful moment that they just shared with
Oh.
their feet.
Feet touched. Yeah.
No, they didn't.
Anyways, August 23rd is the beta. I'm very, very, very excited.
You know what I'm excited about?
What?
Tomb Raider 20th
No.
anniversary
No,
edition.
that's not in
Jason
there. Stop
Bourne
it.
in
Stop
theaters.
it. Stop it.
July 29th.
I didn't bring it up earlier. I didn't know when to bring it up. I guess it's newsworthy. Just briefly mention, I watched Evo over the weekend, and it was fucking cool.
You were constantly tweeting about
It
that.
was on. I stayed up way past my bedtime on Sunday because of the Street Fighter Top 8 was on ESPN on television.
Yep.
ESPN 2, right?
ESPN 2.
The Deuce.
But that's still very impressive. I mean, I think Dota only ever made it, or League only ever made it to ESPN 3.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I mean, I guess I don't know how ESPN channels work. That sounds
People were sports fans and stuff were losing their mind.
Yeah.
Because they're like, what is this shit? But it was cool. And like Mike Ross was one of the hosts, and Gutex was like a dude
Floor
down in the
correspondent?
stands talking to all the
floor?
Yeah. It was really cool. I just wanted to shout out to L.I. Joe, the lone American that made it in the top 8. He ended up with 5th, and it was pretty like it was like a sporting event. Like they're like, we flew your dad out here for the top 8, He's like, I didn't even know my dad was here. And like it was like this really emotional
I
reaction.
didn't even know my dad.
And he won a round in the top 8, and it was
His
fucking,
dad was crying.
It was tearful. Like there was this moment like in between rounds.
So good.
There was a moment in between rounds where like L.I. Joe started to make a comeback, and he had his head in his hands like this. Like because he was just so nervous, and like they went
But
to
then
the,
his mom brought him a fresh Hot Pocket.
no, they went to his audience. They went to the audience, and his dad was doing the exact same thing.
Yes.
It
The
was-
best part about watching
was touching.
those Evo matches is like the really awkward way that like the competitors act when they win or lose. Like
Well, some of the ones from like I guess Japan and Korea
Some of them are so
don't have
awkward.
some of the crazy reactions that maybe some of the Americans do, but it's still a pretty good show. I'm glad there was an American in there because it was on ESPN for the first time, and it would have just been all Japanese and Korean people, and I don't think that is exciting for like an American audience who's just watching Street Fighter for the first time on TV. But it was cool. I just wanted to bring it up. It was exciting. No Laura's, but whatever.
what are you gonna do?
She's C tier.
Your bay is low tier.
Lots of Nashes.
And what else? What else we have? Nolan, Krispy, anything?
I got one.
Crispy, hit us.
Yesterday or the day before, I don't
Trouble
remember.
seems so far
I can't
away.
remember.
It was probably 2 days ago.
Was it yesterday,
What
perhaps?
is-
Telltale released
Oh,
the
yeah,
trailer
they did.
for Batman, a Telltale series. The Batman Telltale series, yeah.
Yes.
They released a trailer for it, and I mean, it looks like Batman. Art style looks really cool. Harvey Dent is still fucking District Attorney of Gotham, so it looks
Yeah.
like we're covering well-worn territory. Nothing new or exciting here.
Maybe with that they could segue into Clayface.
Like, yeah, maybe. Like,
They
oh my
won't. They won't.
God, Harvey Dent turns into Two-Face? That's shocking.
I get where you're coming from, because yes, this is stories that
Like
have been
every
told a million
Batman
times.
story that isn't a comic book nowadays is like, oh well, this is a story about
It's Dark
Batman
Knight.
in his early years.
Everything's
and
since Dark
when
Knight.
he's working with Lieutenant Gordon and District Attorney Harvey Dent to clean up Gotham City from the likes of Carmine Falcone. Like it's a fine story. It's been done to death, and the definitive best version of that story has existed for decades now. And nobody's ever even, like, tried to replicate it. Ever even, like, tried to reference it. The Long Halloween. By the way, if you've never heard of it, if you only ever read one Batman story, that's the one.
Not the
Is the
Killing
Long
Joke?
Halloween. Huh?
Not the Killing Joke?
See,
No,
now you're
not the
antagonizing
Killing
him.
No, Killing Joke's a fine story, but if you were gonna read one Batman story, it's The Long Halloween. Like, that's it. That's the gold standard.
Definitively.
Did you
That's
see?
the
Did you
best
see the
one.
new trailer? The clip they put out from the Killing Joke.
No,
weird.
I didn't. Was it the one where it's Batman and Joker in his cell?
Yeah, it's kind of weird though.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to think about that movie. We'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see. I'll talk a little more about this in my 4Player
Episode
minute.
1
But
comes
just
out
know,
next month.
yeah, just know that that's coming up very
I'm
quickly.
wondering. This is,
August 2nd, I think, is the date,
this
and
is
I will probably be
optimistic.
streaming it.
This is
6th or
optimistic of
2nd,
me.
something like that,
I'm
yeah.
really hoping that maybe, because what I did like about the trailer is that there was a lot of emphasis on Batman, or there was a lot of emphasis on like Bruce Wayne and
Yeah.
like
Yeah, and
stuff
that's
going
cool.
on outside of the bat suit. Like that
That's
seemed
cool.
pretty cool. And you could obviously see the
August
inspiration-
2nd, you were right.
You could obviously see the inspiration of the Arkham series because the Catwoman was in the trailer briefly, and she looked
It's
just like
very-
her version from
Very Arkham-y.
you know, which is cool. I'm really kind of hoping that maybe they're going to surprise us with maybe the later episodes start to kind of lean towards something we haven't seen.
Maybe they'll get rid of Harvey Dent in
All
the
of-
first episode. Maybe they'll just
Maybe.
one and done him.
Dude,
and
maybe they will. Maybe they're blasting through this. All I'm saying is like, there's a. I'm kind of saving this for my 4Player minute, but I'll go ahead and talk
just
about
save
it. There is a wealth of like great Batman characters and villains that have come up in the last like 15 years that nobody outside of comics besides Warner Animation has really like touched. Like anybody who wants to do a video game about Batman, they're so worried about casting as wide a net as possible that they always end up going with like the Joker as the main villain. You know,
Yeah.
they don't even really pay that much attention to like B tier like classic Batman villains. You know, they're just so worried about like ever since the Dark Knight came out, like. If you're going to do a serious Batman story, it's got to be Batman versus the Joker, which is really just one Batman story. It's like one story told over and over and over and over again, and it only really highlights one aspect of the character. And those stories always end up revolving around the order versus chaos duality of Batman versus the Joker. And there's so many different like amazing stories with completely different tones and completely different dynamics that you can tell with Batman that have nothing to do with the Joker.
Cowboy
But-
Batman.
Cowboy Batman is
Be like Red Dead. Could be like Red Dead.
is definitely one of them. Time traveling Batman. Yeah.
Gotham by Gaslight.
The Batman of Zuranar, like that's a great story.
Calendar Man.
Calendar Man. Well,
Calendar Man.
yeah, Calendar Man. The best part about Long Halloween is that it took one of the dumbest ideas for a superhero ever and actually turned it into an amazing idea for a supervillain. Did I say superhero? I meant
Which villain? Where?
Calendar Man.
Calendar Man.
There used to be this guy, Calendar Man, who dressed up like a fucking calendar and committed crimes based on dates, and it was the dumbest idea ever. It was one of the dumbest things to ever come out of the Silver Age, and that's including Captain Boomerang. One of the dumbest ideas ever. And then Long Halloween comes along, and all of a sudden they say like, oh well, wait a minute, here's a completely different way to do Calendar Man, and it works like gangbuster, and it's amazing.
He's basically like Jeremy Irons in the third Die Hard movie.
Yeah, it's just that like it's just a little disappointing because it feels like people are so like it feels like the greater audience at whole has like fallen in love with this eternal struggle between Batman and the Joker that nobody wants to do anything but that, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, even Arkham Knight, that wasn't supposed to be that story wasn't supposed to be about the Joker, and yet it was entirely about the Joker.
Yeah.
Let's take it back to the Telltale game.
Yep.
Do
Yeah.
you think that, I mean, which Telltale are we going to get? There's like,
right, are we getting-
Telltale, and there's like, oh.
Right.
Are we getting
Are we
Walking
getting-
Dead or are
I
we
don't
getting
know.
Jurassic Park?
And I haven't looked
Yeah.
this up
Or
yet
Game of
because I
Thrones.
don't know. I don't know if this information's out there, but I was gonna look this up. I want to see who's writing the story. If they're using in-house writers, if they're using like DC writers, if somebody like maybe Paul Dini is like is contributing to this, that will inform kind of probably what type of story we're gonna get, regardless of quality, but like what type of story it's gonna be.
Yeah. I really
don't
hope
know.
it's not another Game of Thrones where it's like really cool source material that just falls flat.
It's really Game of Thrones is a really difficult world, I think, to try to tell a side story into.
Yeah.
Like that world is kind of built in such a way where you need like the epic scale to really make it interesting, with the exception of like the Hedge Knight, but that story is like kind of already been told. It's its own thing. Batman, there's a lot of room to do a lot of different interesting things. The problem is nobody does. That's kind of
I'm
like
still
what
waiting for Batman Beyond to get its time in this.
That would
get
be
it,
nice.
Get its moment in
Yeah,
the sun.
I mean,
in
that would
terms
be
of,
really
like,
cool.
Its own Why is that not become a video game? I don't understand.
And like Batman Beyond, they've made that canon now too. That's like part of the comic book canon.
it is, yeah.
They've changed a shit ton of it, and a lot of people are really pissed off with like a lot of the changes they've made to it. But at the same time, they're fucking like they're doing something with it. You know, they're doing something different. I don't know. It's just this whole like early Batman dealing with Two-Face and the Penguin. Like, it's great, but there's so much more you could be doing.
Kind of unrelated. Was Batman animated series on Netflix or Batman?
It was.
No, it's not
It's
on
on
Netflix.
Amazon
It's on
Prime.
Amazon. Not.
What
If
about
you have
Batman
Amazon,
Beyond?
I don't
no.
think so.
But you have Amazon Prime.
I do.
So you can watch Batman the Animated Series. I don't know about Batman Beyond. I think Batman Beyond at one point was on Netflix, but it's not anymore.
Man, can you imagine if Rocksteady made a fucking Batman Beyond game?
It
I'm
would
sorry.
be good.
It'd be cool. I mean, it would be different, but
It would be
cool.
different. But
Yeah, I don't know. I want to see something like. I mean, come on, like this
Come
would have
on.
been the perfect opportunity to do like an adaptation of Scott Snyder's Court of
Whoa,
Owls.
not Zack Snyder.
Right,
Careful there.
the good Snyder, the Court of Owls. Like,
Well,
this
we
would've been
shall.
great.
I mean, they may go that way. You never know.
We never know.
You never
You're right.
know.
We'll see.
I mean,
we'll see what happens.
I don't think any of us expected Tales from the Borderlands to be as fucking amazing as it was. So, but then again, I don't.
That's a completely different property.
But then
yes,
again,
that
lightning
was-
doesn't
that was a
strike
great-
twice.
That was a great game.
very often. So we'll see. I am very interested to play it.
Totes.
So is that it for news? We good on news?
Yeah.
Anything else we want to talk
I
about?
think so.
That's it.
All right. Let's do. Nolan, say it.
The community.
Yeah! All right, seriously, we really need to record something like soon.
What's up?
We really need to record something.
Send your
soon.
submissions.
All right, so time for questions from our patrons. We love them so much, and they love us too.
That they do, and
Yep.
that we do. Yes.
So first question this week comes from Austin.
What's up, Austin?
If you enjoy, would you rather questions, I think...
No, wait. If you enjoy Would You Rather questions.
Okay, well, he should have put those in quotes.
Yes, he should have.
If you enjoy Would You Rather questions, I think I have a good one.
This is I think this is a direct response to the one about the ice skate 2 weeks ago.
Would you rather date a girl version of you for the rest of your life and everyone thinks you are siblings, or make love to an animal of your choice to completion but no one finds out?
Wait, say it again. Sorry.
Would you rather date a girl version of you for the rest of your life and everyone thinks you're siblings, or make love to an animal of your choice to completion but no one finds out?
Do you get any weird diseases from having sex with the animal?
I mean, he didn't say you couldn't wear a condom. So
Okay, this one's easy. Girl version of myself. I mean, does she look like me?
Is it just
that's
like,
what he said. Yes,
it
everyone
just-
thinks you're
Is it just
siblings.
like Brad wearing a
Yeah,
wig?
but is it a hot sister?
Are
we
you, a hot brother?
Adam, are we talking about?
That's the important question. Is Brad a hot brother?
Think Adam Sandler and Jack and Jill.
So that's the thing.
Is it like that, or is it a nice lady?
Sometimes I see couples, and I'm like, they look really samey. Like this could go back to the whole like ice skate thing. Like they might be related, not too far back on the old family tree there.
But genetically, you wouldn't be related to this person, right?
Correct.
Like if you ended up having babies with them, they would be normal
Correct.
babies.
But that's like one of the funny things with like Bernadette and me. Like we're clearly not related. But then that's also going to be awkward when we have kids and my kids don't look like they're related to me. Like I really hope at one point they're not like I don't want to buy them a toy, and so they're like, I don't know this man. And I'm like, oh, this is awkward.
I mean, I feel like the lady version of myself would have huge tits. I think I'd be into that.
Huge fakies.
No, huge real tits. That'd be nice.
This has got weird.
And a nice ass.
Okay, this is weird. What makes you think that
Yeah,
would be
who
the
cares
case?
what other people think? Love conquers all, right?
I don't want a fucking animal. That's that,
But if you
man.
had to, what would you go for?
At least the lady version of me is like some sort of fantastical thing, you know, that doesn't really exist, but could have a nice rack. I don't want a fucking animal.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if you had to,
Like one of
gun
them
to your head?
cat anime ladies.
or like a dolphin or something.
Is this gonna be a mythical animal? A mermaid.
No.
I'd fuck a mermaid
But
in the mouth.
what the top? Yeah, the top half or the bottom.
I'd fuck a mermaid
I don't
in the
think-
mouth.
I don't
Okay.
think mermaids are animals. It's a little offensive to mermaids.
I'd mouth fuck a mermaid.
I'd mouth fuck a mermaid.
Is there a term for that?
Oral sex.
I think
Merkin?
Crispy boiled it down to the actual interesting question here is which animal would you pick? If
Like, if you had to pick an animal. They just want you to name it.
What if I could just convince a chimp to give me a hand job or something? Does that work?
Oh.
Those are pretty human-y hands.
Just paint your dick yellow like a banana.
That's dangerous, though, man. There's like chimps that like rip people's jaws off and shit.
Oh, and you're gonna put your penis in that hand?
I'd fuck a cat girl or
Why
a lady version of myself with
why
a
not
nice
like an
rack.
orangutan at
what
that
if
point?
what if you were in a committed relationship with a dog that looked like you?
No, no.
Oh, is it like the cat from
Like
what we do in the shadows?
It's just his face.
It's just Brad's face on a dog body.
Y'all need to answer the fucking question.
You motherfuckers need Jesus.
Oh God, that's tough. I mean, I think I'd be a hot girl. So
I mean, I'm
probably.
pretty sure I'd fuck a female version of myself.
It's too fantastical and imaginary. It's
I mean,
an easy choice.
The important
Oh,
the important aspect of that question for me because I am straight is that it is
Oh.
a female version
Yes.
of myself, which
That
means
is human.
that is
Yeah.
human.
You wouldn't want to fuck a dinosaur?
Whoa, that's on the table, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
Animals.
Dinosaurs
anything that's
are
on
on
the
the
sexy
table.
dinosaur.
Okay, one of those giant extinct sharks.
I
that
read
don't
an
exist
article.
anymore.
I read an article one time about like this really handsome ape that like women were kind of like fawning after. Yeah, it was like there were like pictures of this ape who was like super fucking handsome and muscular.
The fuck?
I'm not
What
even
are you
kidding.
talking about?
I'm not kidding. Someone find the article.
Taken
Like
by
a
a
handsome
T-Rex.
ape that like ladies were swooning after.
All right, let's move
Wait,
on.
read Miklopa's response.
McClopa replied, "Dude, I'd fuck the shit out of female version of me. I would be so hot."
I guess he's in the same boat as Brad.
Yeah. All right, moving on. We got to move on. It's getting late. Next question from Michael.
Great pillow talk.
Imagine you were dying in the most heroic way possible. What are your last words?
Most heroic. Well,
You
first,
kind of have to set up the death too, though, right?
yeah.
you-
'Cause
if
now
you
I'm
want
trying to
to.
imagine what's the most heroic way to die.
Saving someone?
Saving someone's life.
Maybe saving a lot of lives, saving everyone in an orphanage.
Wait, click the link. Handsome ape. He's fucking handsome as shit, dude. That's
That's not.
He is
That's
handsome
not what
as
I'm
shit,
talking
Brad.
about.
He's handsome as shit.
Thank you, sci-fi.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
It's,
I mean,
it's a lady in a T-Rex costume.
I could be. I'll be honest. I could be into that.
There you go.
Someone find the ape.
Is that what Nick wants? The female version of himself dressed as a dinosaur?
I mean, it's better than fucking a dog. Let's be honest, right? Right?
Oh, don't call women dogs, Nick.
No, it's not. What, God, you're fucking
Fucking
worst.
gross, dude.
All right.
Gamergator over here.
What would I die
Oh, here it is.
saying?
Nullify.
He has a
that
name,
link.
Sean Bunny or whatever.
I want to see this. I want to see
He's
this ape.
fucking-
Wait, that's the ape?
What?
That's not a very good picture. Oh, they have
It's a
videos.
video. What?
Maybe it's more about his like posture and stuff.
What? His
Women
boss?
flock to handsome gorilla.
He look.
He like poses like a GQ model and shit. I'm not even kidding. Look at this ape.
In that picture, he was kind of like.
Oh, yep, that's good. Yep, sure. He's giving the thumbs up a little bit.
Okay, these pictures are weird.
Ooh, the thinker.
Okay, that. Why does it look like his bottom half
did
is shaved?
someone shave his legs?
It looks like he's sitting.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like he pulled his pants down. He's sitting on the toilet.
He had lice.
It does look like he's taking a shit. He's thinking about it
Very
too.
thoughtful.
All right, guys, we've got to move
Okay.
on.
Okay.
Holy
What
shit.
would I say? Dying words.
Mine would just be exactly Randy Quaid's death from Independence Day.
Hey guys, I'm home. Wait.
Hey boys, I'm back.
I'd be like
And then
Dante.
it blows up, and then everybody's like, yeah.
I'd be Dante from the new Devil DMC. Fuck you. No, fuck you. No, fuck you. And then I die because I suck.
Is that an actual interaction?
That is an actual interaction.
No,
and it was a lot
fuck
cooler
you.
when he did it. As opposed
Does he
to
put
Brad
on
doing it.
sunglasses at the end? He's like, no, fuck you.
No, not quite like that. God damn it. Okay, I can't answer.
What's your answer?
I don't.
I regret nothing.
The thing is,
That's what I would say.
I think this requires the setup, the way the question is framed.
Just say words.
It needs a funny answer. And
That's a horrible thing to die to, Nick.
I don't have.
It needs a funny answer.
I don't have an answer.
You blow up McDonald's headquarters and go, I'm loving it. Boom.
See? Yeah. I'm just going to refer to Krispy here.
There you go. All
Crispy
right.
will come up with my last
Moving
words.
on.
Women want to fuck the ape from Overwatch.
Okay.
There's a
Next
lot of art out
question
there.
from Big Bears. If you could drive any car ever made for 24 hours, what would it be and why?
Any car ever made for 24 hours?
Oh, man.
The Weenie Mobile.
Do they have to be in a row?
The Weenie Mobile, of course. Man.
Probably an
That's
ice cream.
tough because it comes down to two cars. Two cars for me, yeah. One would either be the 1966 Batmobile or
Nice.
the 1984 Ecto-1 from Ghostbusters.
Mine would be an ice cream truck because then I have a ton of ice cream. Haha, loophole, bitch.
Man, y'all are all
You wear
going
your
for
sweet
like,
tooth mask.
y'all are going for like fictional cars or like cars.
I'm pretty sure all of these vehicles.
That's
all
any
these
car
exist.
ever made.
I mean,
Ice cream
Any
truck?
car ever made,
True.
Nicholas.
The mystical.
hey, I've seen that
Taco
car.
truck,
I've seen
baby?
the 1984 Ecto-1. I've touched
It exists.
Nice, that's a good car.
Yeah.
It's a good car.
I have touched
You
it.
could drive the truck from Mystery Men.
Dude, can you
Whatever
imagine?
that one was.
Can you imagine? You'd just be slaying in that thing. Pulling to a gas station.
You'd just be fucking ectoplasm everywhere.
Oh, man. I don't
Name
know.
your car, Nick.
I'm terrible at answering these questions.
Maybe like a
Because y'all.
maybe a
The
Tesla.
Flintstones car.
Maybe
I
a
was gonna
Tesla
go with, like, a real
that drives
answer.
itself.
What's
was-
a real answer?
I mean, I was actually thinking of like a
Just
old Shelby, like an old
follow your
1960.
Everyone loves those.
Yeah, but like
Besides
that,
the
there's
fact that that's a
reason.
stupid car. That was good. That was good.
I'm gonna choose like a really badass RV, like a fucking decked out, cool ass
one
RV.
of those big ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, 24 hours.
It's a short
just
time.
20
I mean, you'd be bored of driving your car in like half an hour.
That's true.
If I had that RV,
Well, that's why I said the Weenie Mobile.
yeah, that's not a
I'd
bad
be
one.
a big. I would just drive the tunnels and just go in and out of them.
Of course.
Next question from Vandal. Has a story ever made such a hard left turn that it made you want to put it down / stop playing, stop watching?
A lot of people would say Indigo Prophecy, but I like that ride at the end. Just fucking go crazy.
That's a pretty heavy left
Hard
turn.
left turn.
Wait, what'd you say?
He's just a hard left turn.
I think one of the most jarring kind of bad hard left turns is Lost. But I
Well, yeah.
I watched the whole thing.
These are video games.
No, they said
No,
they
he
said
said
watching
watching. He
too.
said
Like,
watching.
yeah.
That's easy.
Video games.
I don't think that was that hard of a left turn. I mean,
Lost. I mean, it was
it was kind of what everyone,
maybe it was kind of like a very arcing left turn, but like you got to admit, season 7 of that show and season 1 of that show are two completely different shows.
Yeah, and that's kind of the appeal, I think. Anyways, whatever.
I mean, if you're talking about watching like Arrow,
Oh yeah, Dude,
I put that show down and I never wanted to go back to it.
I'll be honest. Like I'm a supporter of Arrow. I like that show. I even like season 3. This last season was awesome.
Did you see that tweet?
When I,
Did you see that tweet from Stephen
Amell?
Amell? What he was saying, people who just buy up websites and resell them is like a really weird business. And someone was like, arrowiststillgood.com is still available. And his reply was stop.
Stop. Just stop. When I was playing Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, there's a part where he gets captured and put in prison.
Yeah.
And then the game turns into this really completely different game where
That-
you're
it doesn't
like a
turn
monster
into
or something.
that. That's
so I
only if you-
immediately stopped playing and I never went back. I
That's
don't know
only
how
if
that
you
goes.
save your game and you reload it.
motherfucker.
And that was fucking amazing.
You fool! That's what you stopped because of that?
You are a monster.
The fact that they
I'm
took
joking.
that
That
out of
was a
the
joke.
out of the
That was a
HD
joke,
releases of that game is infuriating, and I understand it's licensing issues, but still,
By
That
the
was a
way,
joke, guys.
Chris Davis brought up one that's a really good example. Is LA Noire,
yeah.
because that's
Yeah.
broken out into discs, and the
After you get out of homicide.
After you get out of
it's like-
homicide, well, actually, specifically, I think it's the arson desks
Yeah.
specifically.
Oh,
that really,
arson. Yeah,
I also
that
stopped
really
playing
kinda
that
fucking-
game, mostly because I was bored to
I mean,
death.
I did
but-
finish that game, but like everything after homicide was downhill.
All right, moving on. Next question from
I
Nick
didn't
the
answer that
Batman.
question.
Do you have an answer in the next 10 seconds?
I'm going to go with I don't know.
Cool. Moving on. Nick the Batman. What show or movie would make for the best fighting game roster?
Fighting game
Ooh,
rock.
Street
movie
Fighter
or
the
what?
movie.
Or what?
Show or movie.
Show or movie? Fighting game.
Street Fighter
Gosh,
the movie?
ooh, this is good. This is
Dude,
good.
Mystery Man.
Star
That would be
Wars.
pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah,
They made that
Master
and
of
it's,
Terrascasi.
Yeah.
Still a good idea though.
Fucking Zoolander.
What?
Zoolander.
Fucking weird and hilarious in the best kind of way.
That doesn't count, Chris
Oh,
Davis.
God.
Fool.
What is that Kardashian show?
Keeping up.
That one? I just want to see.
Oh, make like a Dead or Alive style game
Yeah.
with the Kardashians.
That's not where my brain went first.
I'm
I
gonna-
was just thinking of like punching them.
I'm gonna go with Perfect Strangers.
I don't know what that is.
I'm not familiar with that one either. I don't know. I'm gonna stick with my.
The 1973 classic, The Sting.
Oh.
Robert Redford, Paul Newman.
Yeah,
Robert Shaw.
I'm familiar with it. It's a good movie.
Good movie. How about Hellboy? Yeah, that doesn't count. That was a comic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And a movie. It was two movies.
Yeah, but that doesn't
Oh.
count. It kind of throws it off. Of course, the comic book would be
You
good.
can't say Avengers.
The Magnificent Seven.
Or that last
That movie's not
Tarantino
out
movie.
yet.
The Raid.
Well, it's not out, but it's also essentially a reimagining of Seven Samurai.
Oh, what was the name of the fucking Tarantino movie?
Oh, the Hateful Eight.
Hateful
No.
Eight.
Oh, I thought you were thinking of that other one, Sukiyaki Western Django.
Oh, no, the one that he produced.
Ooh, Kill Bill.
That
That was a
would
good
be-
movie. Did you ever see that?
I did see it, and it's okay, but
It's weird.
You know what it is though? It's
Off
Fistful of Dollars,
topic.
and it's
no, it
and
definitely
it's,
it's definitely not original.
it's Yojimbo.
Yeah, it's
Like-
it definitely
about
is. It's
Titanic?
just interesting. Have you ever heard of that, Nick? Sukiyaki Western Django.
I have not.
It's
a
a
weird
bunch of
movie.
Japanese actors who don't speak English,
Doing
but they're speaking English. Like they're essentially just ebonics. They're sounding out words. So it's really fucking weird. But yeah, anyway.
interesting.
It's weird.
And also like
So it's
what's his-
non-English speakers speaking and
Yes.
delivering an English script.
Yes, so they don't know exactly what they're saying. I mean, I'm sure they tell them. But like, what's his face? Quentin Tarantino is like he's like a narrator kind of, and he's just like really weird. I don't know.
And then
weird.
he starts talking with a Japanese accent.
Yeah,
It's just like
it's really weird.
I mean,
it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
They should make a Dragon Ball Z fighting game.
What about Game of Thrones? Like, there's a lot.
It's
There's
just a bunch of people with swords.
I mean,
like,
you
there's some
could
pretty
have like
colorful characters in that.
a chivalry
in that show.
type game.
Yeah, like a chivalry type.
All right,
game.
moving
Most
on.
of them aren't
Moving on.
great
What's up?
sword fighters, but okay.
Oh yeah. The last question for the evening from Miklopa.
Micropa.
Piccolo.
Miklopa.
Nintendo is looking for new and exciting franchises to use on their successful Go series. What would a Go version of your life, Nolan Go, Brad Go, Nick Go, Crispy Go,
What
be
does
all
that
about?
mean? Look at it.
I don't know how to answer this question. What
Yeah, I
would,
don't know if I know. Here's that question.
Just what if you made like a Pokemon Go is you running around catching Pokemon? What would Brad Go?
My
be?
game would just be running around looking at the maps. I'm like convinced that people are fascinated with Pokemon Go because maps are fucking cool. Like Google Maps, Google Earth, like that shit. I could like stare at that shit for hours. It's crazy, man. I love seeing how all the roads are like laid out. Am I weird?
yes.
Maps
Yes,
are
yes, you
fucking
are.
cool, man.
You should be a city planner.
Not in Austin. No saving this city.
I mean, let's be honest. The joke here is I would be walking around, I would be catching dinosaurs.
Yeah, you probably would.
Yeah.
Sick fuck.
Yeah, that's
and fucking them. Catching them and fucking them.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's really
It
weird.
would be a game where I run around and I challenge people to games and they can't ever win.
You'd be running
Instead
catching dick
of-
butts.
Instead of all of that,
Dick butts.
Oh, I could. Oh.
instead of that, I think it should be 4-player podcast Go, and like the whole it's like a grid based like Hitman or like Lara Croft Go, and it's just moving us all around trying to set up for different podcasts.
That is against the spirit of the question, but I approve
The best way
because
I
I would
can
much
answer.
rather have one of those Square Enix Go games than a Pokemon Go clone.
Oh well, he just said Go style. I didn't know if he meant.
I
Spirit
think
of the
it would be
question.
me going around and like tagging things with dick butt, just tagging everything.
Yeah. Virtually.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well-
that's all the questions for this week. Thank you, patrons, for asking your questions. What's up, Chris?
Mine would be just like downtown at different bars trying to find like the best bathrooms to go pee in.
There you
Because
go.
I can't just pee in any bathroom, but in any bar.
Dude, some of them
bathroom.
are so weird.
There's just terrible.
There was that. I can't.
If I walk into your bar and there's like a trough to pee in, like I'm just going. To
What
a
was that
different
one
bar.
we were at? And like there was like there was just like it's a square room and there's just urinals all around it.
Oh.
But then like there's a urinal right next to the sink. There's like no
Yeah.
dividers, and that was the
Yeah.
only one available. So I was using that, and some guy finishes and he washed up and he's like washing his hands like
His hands are right next to your
from my
dick.
dick, and he's like, "Hey, how's your night going?" And I'm like, "It's going good." You know,
The water splashing off his hand is like hitting your dick.
dude. It's like, who
And the
designed this
urine is
bathroom?
Splashing off the backsplash
Yeah.
on his hands.
All right, anyway.
All right. Anyways,
So thank you, patrons, for asking your questions. We appreciate it. If you are a patron, all you got to do is go to patreon.com/4Player. Every week we post a thread. Ask us any question you want. You've been noticing lately they've been getting weirder, but that's because people have realized they can ask us anything, and
weird
we'll probably
ass questions
answer.
are welcome.
Yep.
We also we posted a new Dinner Time podcast up this last week, so that's available on the activity feed. And we have a lot of other Patreon related content coming down the pipe. We've been fairly busy lately because of the website and E3 and all that good stuff, but we have stuff in the works now. So keep your eyes peeled for that if you're a patron. And now it's time to wrap up the show with the 4-player minutes.
What's the 4-player minute, Nick?
We're gonna each go around and say our hype, our sweat, our thank you, and our fuck you.
Not me, because I'm pretty hyped this week. My first hype is for the new Deus Ex. There's a lot of preview footage coming out. Man, it's looking good. It's looking good. Deus Ex, it's good.
I'm pretty excited.
Played that at
for it.
E3 and I died.
My other hype is Quadrilateral Cowboy. That game looks dope. It's coming out July 25th, which is next fucking week. That game was so
That's a Monday.
6. I don't know. Fuck. I
I
don't
understand.
know.
It's a weird day for it to come
I'm
out.
also hyped for Headlanders, the new Double Fine game. I think that looks dope
yeah, I
as
played that
well.
at the mix. That was cool.
Comes out on Tuesday.
And, well, okay, 3 hypes and a fuck. My fuck you goes to Square Enix. Square Enix, because they're doing releasing the laziest way possible. The 20th anniversary celebration for Tomb Raider. They're just slapping it on to the late release of the PS4 edition of the Tomb Raider game that came out last year, which was surprisingly solid, but also super forgettable. Like that. That is a fucking insult. You don't celebrate 20 years of Tomb Raider by just throwing in a fucking old school Lara Croft skin, which isn't even new. That old school Lara Croft skin has been in other Lara Croft games. Like it's fucking lazy. It's insulting, especially when with the 10th anniversary they rebuilt the original game from the ground up in the Tomb Raider like Legend engine. It's one of the most impressive remakes of all time, and that was how they celebrated 10 years. You played that, Nick. It's fucking awesome.
It is fucking awesome.
20 years. We're celebrating. Oh, we're going to throw it on the cover of this box and hope that people buy the PS4 edition. You're
And the box
and
does.
fuck you, Square Enix, you lazy motherfuckers. Just if this is all you can do, just don't even bring it up. Just forget it. You know, maybe go for 25 in 5 more years. This is a fucking insult. Fuck off. Fuck you. Suck my dick. Stupid bitches.
The box does look eerily similar to the Nathan Drake collection.
Yeah, and they ripped off the box cover, you fucking assholes. Sorry.
So angry.
Well, I mean, it's a fucking
I know,
insult,
I know.
man.
I saw it too.
The
I-
late
I-
edition of that stupid fucking game, which is nothing like the original Tomb Raider.
All right.
Why don't you make Tomb Raider 2 Anniversary, you fuckers?
My 4-player minute starts now. My hype is for Headlander. I wanted to bring that. I'm really excited for that game. Comes out on Tuesday. Really fucking good music. The whole 70s throwback theme is great. Apparently that one guy in LA is a fan of Headlander. You remember when we walked in that restaurant and I was wearing the Headlander shirt?
Oh, right before we went to the airport on the way back from E3, and we went to that restaurant.
Oh yeah,
And
when we
no
went
one
to
was
the
wearing a
schoolyard or
Headlander
whatever.
shirt, and this guy was like, "Oh, I love."
I haven't seen that logo in so long. Like,
I love that band.
but like, yeah, we had no. He probably had no idea.
He
what
probably
it
got
was.
confused with something else.
yeah.
Anyway, I'm excited for it. My other hype is going towards the Square Enix Collective. I've been kind of going through some of the games that are being made or kind of being promoted via that. There's some pretty exciting ones that I'm looking forward to, like Moonlighter or something. I brought that up to Brad a while ago. It's like you play like a shopkeeper who at night you go out and you like hunt, in like kind of roguelite dungeon diving and to get loot to sell in your shop and kind of stuff like that. There's like another one, like I forget what it's called. It's like something monster. It's like you play a just like a minuscule monster in an RPG. Like there are like people running around and you have to fight them.
Like a shitty goblin?
Yeah. No, that's exactly. You are a shitty goblin and you fight people, but you have to do the correct things. So, like, if one of the characters taunts you, you have to attack them.
Oh, that's
But
pretty
you
cool.
can fuck up. And, like, when you die, because you die, you have to make sure you drop the correct loot. And, like, there's kind of, like, stuff like that.
Kinda cool.
Yeah,
Pretty
no, and,
clever.
huh?
That's clever.
No, I'm pretty excited for it. And there was like one more I can't remember. I was kind of scrolling through all of like the games that are kind of been getting good press on there. So I'm pretty excited for some of those, just like little indie games. And my thank you this week goes to, I don't have one. I had one and I lost it. Am I thankful for anything?
You can say thank you to Ghost Town Games for sending us that preview build of Overcooked.
That is true. I did have a lot of fun. Hopefully, if y'all haven't seen it,
When does that come out
we put up
officially?
a video August something, 3rd.
I'm really
It comes
bummed
out
I
August
missed
3rd.
that.
Yeah. We put up a video on the YouTube channel, guys, of us playing Overcooked. We did it last week after the podcast. A lot of fucking fun. I would, if everyone has time, love to play that more.
Well,
would
that
love-
preview build that we sent when the game actually comes out, will be automatically updated to
Nice.
the full
The full
preview-
version?
the full
Cool.
version.
Cool.
So I have a feeling you'll probably see us play that on the feed.
I
in
would
the
be
near
up
future.
for playing it more.
Once it's
And
out.
then my fuck you is obviously going to go to Niantic. It fucking sucks. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know how their servers are working. I assume they would have been doing this cloud-based just because of, you would think with more people on it, you would want to ramp up more servers. That's the point of the fucking cloud. More traffic, make more servers, that runs better. But instead, I don't know what the fuck they're doing, and then releasing the app in other countries, that's clearly fucking negatively affecting the countries that's already in. It's just really frustrating that they took a really simple game that they already had running, slapped Pokemon on it, and now it runs like shit, and it's frustrating.
Boo.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. Crispy?
Alrighty, my hype this week is Overwatch got a new hero that has been out
Oh, yeah,
for a week
the
or
sniper
two
lady.
on PC. Yeah, Anna, the support sniper,
Mm-hmm.
has been out for a week or two on PC, and I just saw before we started the show, I think today they put her live on the PS4 version.
Nice.
So I'm probably going to go home and try that out. Which is going to suck because everyone's going to want to play her. But that's really cool. My other hype is also for fucking Star Wars Rogue One.
Oh.
Because Star Wars
Is there new
Celebration...
stuff out there?
Yeah, Star Wars
Oh,
Celebration
yeah, there is.
in Europe just happened last week, and they put out a new kind of behind the scenes
Yeah,
show.
it wasn't
Remember
a
the trailer
trailer.
they did for Force Awakens? There was a lot of behind the scenes stuff.
Something
They
like
did
that.
they did another one of those for Rogue One.
It's looking good.
There was also a little apparently I guess they're not doing an opening crawl for Rogue One.
They're breaking the norm.
They're breaking the norm, which is fucking incredible. Rogue One represents kind of everything that I've wanted to see from Star Wars on film in a long time. It's I
Also,
can't fucking
just
wait.
rolling off that note, Daisy Ridley did tweet the other day that they wrapped up filming
Yeah,
on
wrap
episode
Yeah.
8.
filming.
Yeah.
What?
So
Yeah.
we're getting down
Episode 8
there.
is officially in post-production.
Yup.
Eight's gonna be a summer movie next year, isn't it?
No, it's December now.
Oh, is
yeah,
it so?
sure.
Wow. Okay.
Well, I thought Harrison
But-
Ford was working on something else. How can they have already?
God damn it, Brad.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's really weird.
Anyway,
But yeah, super excited for those. My sweat goes to to Telltale's Batman for a lot of the same
obvious
reasons.
reasons. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I'm really excited. I think Telltale's done a lot of really good episodic adventure games. I would love for this Batman game to be one of their good ones. I'm a little I'm not annoyed or discouraged, but it is kind of a little
they've been a little hit and miss. I mean, you have
Yeah.
all the early games. You have Walking Dead, then you have Walking Dead season 2, and then you have Game of Thrones, and then you had Telltale's from the Borderlands,
Yeah, it's-
and then you had fucking way down here somewhere, even farther down than I can reach, Minecraft.
So Telltale,
And so-
yes, I can't believe they're on 7
The one with
episodes
the
of that
Wolfman?
Minecraft one. By
dude,
the
I
way.
stopped
That is
playing
ridiculous.
it.
Fables.
But Wolf Among Us.
Yeah, Wolf
but
Among Us, yeah.
Which they
Telltale
just
is kind of
stopped.
just depending on what team is working on it is kind of all over the place, and the fact that what they've shown so far is kind of nothing really new or exciting for Batman is a little worrying. But I still have hope that it could be great.
Yeah.
My thank you for the week goes to Nintendo for the Virtual Console on Wii U. I've got 8 games already favorited on Virtual Console that I'm going to be buying and playing. It's the easiest way for me to cast Aria of Sorrow. I'm going to be doing... I've got a couple Metroids on there as well that I want to do. I've got Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past on there that I want to do. It's really great to be able to go back and explore some of these older games.
You know how about Link to the Past?
What?
You're only a real man if you do it in one sitting.
In one sitting.
And you got to beat him with a net.
Maybe we should do a mini Project M or something.
No. No.
Cool.
And my fuck you for the week goes to Nintendo for not having ever put out a better version of Metroid Prime.
Yeah, seriously, fuck them. Jesus Christ.
He didn't say No Man's Sky. He doesn't get to play it now.
I didn't say No Man. I haven't said No Man's Sky for a while.
You don't get to play it now. You're not hyped anymore.
I'm not hyped anymore.
So I will say that I've seen they've been putting out footage of that.
Yeah.
The exploration thing and then the fighting, and like it's frustrating how good it looks.
Dude, I'm excited.
It looks nice.
I'm excited because I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And
I'm just worried that it's
amazing.
going to be a game I can put hundreds of hours in that I really shouldn't be.
I hope it's kind of a game that you can do that, but you could also just opt to put like 50 or 60 hours in and then be totally cool with that experience.
Yeah.
Still doesn't seem like a game. We'll see. Hopefully when you get to the center of the galaxy, it's like fucking revelatory.
Yeah, hopefully.
You just got to keep tapping at that block. Tapping that and you'll eventually get to the center.
All right.
You guys are asses.
4-player minute starts
It's
right
gonna be
now.
Peter Mullen.
That's what I was making a reference to.
That's fine.
Peter Mullen is at the
My
center of the
4-player
galaxy.
minute starts right now, and this is the last time I had to say this.
You guys know that if No Man's Sky is good, I get a Krispy was right hashtag.
Yes,
I
of
don't
course.
think that's how this works.
Yeah.
4-player minute starts now. This is the last time I have to say this.
Only Brad gets to be
God
right.
damn it. This is the last time I have
I
to say
never
it.
had
God
that hashtag.
damn it. Y'all are killing me here. Fucking Jason Bourne comes out next week.
Woo!
Very, very fucking excited.
We
Wow.
rewatched
We
that.
rewatched the first
Dude,
one.
some of the that movie was low budget as
Yeah, the first one
fuck.
doesn't have a very big budget.
Dude,
Dude, the best part, and I've watched that movie a million times. I've never noticed this, but this is the beauty of watching movies with Nolan, and
Yeah.
also sometimes a curse. The very end of that movie,
I
the
point out
very
the most
last shot
random
of
shit.
of the first Bourne movie, there's a big sweeping vista of like Italy or something,
Yeah,
or
something
Rome.
like that.
I don't know where she is, but it's on a beach.
Yeah.
And there's all these like sounds of like wind blowing in the waves or whatever, and all of a sudden you just hear like a dolphin noise.
You hear that fucking sound bite of a dolphin, that
You hear, like, the
classic
flipper noise.
one noise. Yeah, like just that one. Yeah,
And
that
we were,
one.
Like Nolan just went, "Brr, what?" Like, what was that? And I was like, I've never noticed that before.
the other
That's
thing is-
hilarious.
They're on the ocean.
Yeah, I forget his name. Brian Cox's character.
Oh yeah.
Like towards the end of the movie, when he's like kind of wrapping up the plot,
Yeah.
like he's in front of a green screen, and I
Yeah.
never noticed that
Like,
when
he's-
I was a kid.
He's in
but
like the board, like the room where they do all like the hearings and whatnot.
Yeah.
And there's all these like chairs behind him, but like, and they do that again in the next two movies, but like it's an actual like set.
Yeah.
But in this one, I've never
it's
noticed. Before.
very
It's
clearly
a
a green screen. They
Like-
they could have gotten away with it if they didn't pan. They did like a pan and the tracking was
Oh, it
slightly
all
off, so you could see it
moves,
wiggle
yeah.
a bit. If they would just had a still shot, wouldn't even have noticed. But anyway, I'm excited for it as well.
Budget of the first movie was pretty low, but
Yeah.
they have gone up, and I've been following the new movie very closely. Very, very, very excited. Actually going to see it. Actually, my thank you I can give to Alamo Draft House and to Nolan for bringing this to my attention in time.
Yep, you're welcome.
Because not only are we going to see it before the actual release on Friday, we're going 2 days before, which is exciting.
Wednesday.
So Wednesday night we're going to see it. I'm
And
very
what's
excited.
your I'm sorry for the week?
Sorry, Brad, for not being able to go. But like I said, Brad, I'm going to go see it at least 2 or 3 times in theaters.
What
so
if it's
I would
terrible?
be happy to go with you again.
You'll still go.
I'll still go watch it.
He's already bought the ticket.
No, I haven't. I have not. By the way, I've only bought 8 tickets. I know I said 16 tickets last week, but I returned 8 of them because that was the
at
plan.
one point, you were holding 16
I was holding
tickets
16
for
tickets to
Jason
Jason
Bourne.
Bourne. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
Okay.
Did I remember when Star Wars came out? Some guy bought out a theater, so
Holy
he had
fuck,
like
see,
he was holding them physically.
didn't quite go that far.
Yeah.
But also keep it video game related. For better or worse, I'll be playing the Bourne Conspiracy on the feed next Monday.
Yeah, I'm
Nice.
excited about that.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna play that for the entire.
No, you gotta beat it, Nick.
One sitting.
One sitting.
No, I'm not.
Who else is gonna do it?
Boobs.
No,
Not a
Nobody.
single person on
Boobs.
Twitch has probably ever streamed that fucking game.
Well, maybe I will. It's not as bad as you make it sound. It's just not amazing. All right, it's a High Moon game. They make decent, but not amazing games. That's what High Moon does, and that's pretty much what it is. My other hype, is to actually play more Mirror's Edge Catalyst. I can't believe this, but like I am thinking about playing Mirror's Edge Catalyst at work. Like it's one of those like I didn't think this would ever happen. I have the itch to play it when I'm not playing it.
Wow.
I never thought it'd be one of those games, but it is. My sweat, I have 2 sweats, is actually my top 10 this year because it's July and I looked at my list and there's already like 3 or 4 games I can't imagine not putting on my top 10 list. But this is before, like, there's a lot of big
There's
shit.
still a
coming
lot
out.
of games
A
coming out
lot
this
of
year.
big shit. We got Deus Ex, we got No Man's Sky, we got The Last fucking Guardian, Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
And that's just the first 3 or 4 that come to mind. And there's probably like 10, 15 more games
There's a
coming out
lot
for the end of the
coming
year
out, yeah.
that I absolutely have to play. And like, that's terrifying. But my last sweat, and I don't mean to get serious or get political on anybody. I certainly don't want to do that. But I was broadcasting the other night, and somebody, you know, stop doing that, Brad. there was someone in chat. I can't remember who it was, but like someone had like voiced the mentality of, I don't like either candidate, so I'm not going to vote. My sweat goes to young voters who think that's a good idea, because that's like the worst thing you could do. We're literally in a lesser of 2 evils situation. If you don't like either candidate, it's lesser of 2. My sweat is that there is going to be a lot of people who are going to think, like, that is exactly how the whole Brexit thing happened.
Yeah.
And
The best part was watching like one interview, and she was like, "Well, I voted to leave, but that's because I didn't think it was gonna win."
Yeah, yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
If you don't like either candidate, just think about which one you don't like more and vote for the fucking other one. Like, it has come to that.
It was. I saw like a John Oliver bit on that too, and it was funny though because he was like, "But don't worry, voters. There's another vote that you can actually change this decision. Not really. That was the only vote, and you voted to leave. Like that was it.
Exactly.
That was the one."
So I just wanted to, use whatever small platform we have to just say, it's important that you vote. I think more important than ever.
Also, to those voters, if you're not registered, you should look into doing that now, not like the day of voting. Don't be like, hey, wait, I'm not. How does that like? Maybe if you're not registered, double check.
Yeah, you can also catch Pokemon while you're waiting in line to vote.
Also, in a couple of years, when you're voting for the South to leave the Union, maybe vote there too against that.
Exactly. Anyways,
Do you think there's ever going to be a Texit?
God damn it. Okay. All right. Anyways,
Let's see how the next 4 years.
like I said, I didn't mean to get political or serious on you, but that's kind of a reality we live in right now. So, anyways,
We're to vote, man.
Thank you so much for listening. Of course, we'll be back next Thursday night because we do the podcast on Thursday nights on 4pp.tv to do another episode. Is there any big releases before next week? No.
I mean, Headlander.
Yeah.
And then
Is Quadrilateral Cowboy up for next week?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So there's a
Anyways.
few games.
We'll be talking about more video game related stuff next week, so be there. 4playernetwork.com is the website. If there's anything you would like to chime in on based on the conversations we had tonight, 4playernetwork.com. Find the post when it goes up for this episode. Leave a comment, and we'll get to it at the start of the next show. And I think that's all we got.
Cute.
Peace out. Stop doing
Bye,
that, Brad.
guys.
That's not funny, but it's funny. Bye.